Monday, everybody. Monday, Collider Live, and man, it's nice to be back here on this, whatever the hell today is. What is it?
It's the 12th.
August 12th.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back, and the fans were so very nice and sending me some nice tweets while you guys were kicking ass here on the Collider Lives. Joining us back today, once again, is the lovely Winston Marshall.
Hey, what's good?
How are you, Winston? Nice to see you.
Yeah, you know, it's Monday, so we got to dress up a little bit.
Yeah.
I hope y'all at home got your best tuxedo pajamas on. You know. Yeah.
It's good. And I kid when I say the beautiful Mark Reilly is here.
I was waiting for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi. How's it going?
And the wonderful, the extraordinary
Kristian Harloff.
Cody Hall is here. Cody Hall, how are you, Cody?
Hey guys, how you doing?
I kid. One of my closest friends now. One of my faves, Roxy Stringer, is here. Hello,
Oh, I
Roxy.
thought you were going to go with Alex this time. We weren't going to make it all the way around the room.
No, Alex is on my shit list. I'm just kidding.
He's tan. He's the man. You all stand. Kristian Harloff.
Nice to have you. It's good.
He's back,
It's cool to be
baby.
back. It was nice. It was a nice little vacation. Went to Maui.
Maui.
It was in the Maui.
That's the cannabis strain. He actually went to the vacation spot.
Yes.
It's different.
Great.
Yes, I went to the vacation spot. It's funny. Yeah, I posted a few pictures from. I didn't do it for a little bit because I wanted to just kind of relax. On the way there, I will say this: I went on the plane, and I know this is cliche, but people got to stop farting on that plane.
What?
I got to.
Yeah.
You guys are the first ones who taught me that.
Let me tell you something. This is so bad.
Taught you that there are farts.
I'm going
Yeah.
to tell you that it's when you're on that plane, it's bad. Okay, on the way there, it happened twice, but on the way there, we were behind this little girl, and she's eating turkey sandwiches, whatever she's eating, right?
Jesus.
And I don't know if she was close to that jail cell, but if she was, she's the one that killed Epstein because it was so gross.
Really?
It was so gross.
But she was a little kid.
What she? Yeah. So we didn't say anything to her because she was
Yeah.
little. And
Would you say something to her if she was grown?
no, but I wanted to say it to the guy on the way back because it was. I mean, because it's like it's one thing if it slips. If it slips out, but you're now you're just fucking
You're
with me.
hearing it or you're smelling it?
Oh, Roxy, it started melting my face.
But how did you know it's
But-
coming from
but-
them?
You can't. You just haven't. You
just
just kind of
assuming.
guess, and it was like
I take see that's on you though,
What's
because you
that?
can
Smelling the fart?
you can counter that so many different ways. You
Fart
can use
back?
you can use Febreze Unstoppables on your clothes so you can sniff yourself. You can bring poopery on the plane and spray that in the air.
Is the tagline "Smell yourself"?
Smell yourself. That's the
Sniff
new
yourself.
Sniff yourself.
Sniff
Yo,
yourself.
That's what I'm
that
saying.
poopery stuff.
It works.
I don't
It
know about
fucking
that,
works.
Yeah.
but the woman who started that is so rich now. It is insane.
I stole the one from my mom's house. That
She
stuff
is
works so well.
She has
Is that the-
millions and millions of dollars now for the
You spray it on
poopery.
in the toilet
just-
before you go.
Oh,
Yes,
you put it in the
yes,
toilet.
and yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sprayed it in the air.
You got to realize you're thinking in a single man's point of view here of
Sure.
just being able to take care of yourself, sit down. I'm dealing with a baby.
Uh-huh.
I'm dealing with my wife who's like, make sure she right off top. She's like, we're not doing that thing this time to where you just put the headphones on. It's like, and I take care of the two kids. You're helping, so I'm on double duty.
So it was your baby that was farting all the
Nah,
time.
she doesn't. She's like. What's funny is that she's 2 years old now, but it's funny now. Now she goes the other day, which is amazing. Changing her, I rip one, right, and then and then my daughter, the little one, rips one. Okay, and then the
didn't wanna
oldest,
give you that one.
and then the oldest rips one. So my 2-year-old says, "Dada fart, Vivi fart."
Nice.
Meme fart. And I'm like, that's correct. That's
Facts.
correct.
You're speaking facts.
So I hope you guys missed me because Collider Fart Talk is back. It is
Basie's
back.
learning the hierarchy of farts
I know,
in your
it's true,
family.
but-
Wow, I don't
we
think
got-
we talked about farts one time while you were
See,
gone.
that's
That
why
was-
the show's ratings went down.
Yeah, the
No,
numbers.
they were
dipped.
mad because we were talking Bachelor in Paradise. That's what they got pissed off about.
Well, that is a mistake. That is a mistake.
I've been
I'll tell you-
watching.
I told you. Listen to me.
It's dope, right?
I'm gonna tell you this.
I
remember
I got Julie into it.
You know that I worked on
You told me
Bachelor.
a long time ago, yeah.
But I can't watch Bachelor and Bachelorette. I just can't watch it. I'll tune in. Like my wife will watch it, and like people really get in the drama. Like, the guys are fighting and stuff. I'll watch that. But I can't watch the shows, and I understand like when people like, and it was very funny when Cody was turning off the mics last week. It was very funny, but but I think that the audience when they're listening to, oh my God, Bachelor talk again, Bachelor talk again, Bachelor in Paradise, Bachelor.
Yeah.
If I watched the pilot of Bachelor in Paradise again with my wife, just to say, is this show as funny as I think it is? It was fucking great.
It's hilarious.
It's John
The
Paul
pilot
Jones,
years ago?
John
not
Paul
the pilot,
Jones
but
the first episode.
the first episode of this season. And John Paul Jones is a fucking star.
Thank you.
Wait
Thank you.
till
Can you get him on
episode 2.
Collider Live, please?
I
Let me
want to.
come?
I reached out to I reached out to Jared Habon about getting this guy Blake on.
He got married this weekend, so he's a
Yeah,
little
no,
busy.
yeah. But he wrote me back. He wrote me back. He said because I said to him, I
He
forgot.
wrote it back during the ceremony.
Yeah, it was in the middle of it, but I forgot that he was getting married. But he still wrote me back. That's how great Jared is. But Jared, I asked him not about John Paul Jones, but about Blake.
Okay.
Because this guy Blake, I think he's getting a raw deal. I think he's getting a raw
That's the
deal.
one with
How
Kieran
about they're
and
both
Kelsey
trash?
or whatever.
I'm all right with that.
I'm gonna go. The only reason
Blake
that I'm gonna
is
go with you.
trash.
The only
No,
reason
wait, Christian, if you're going to talk about it, you got to explain. This is the Kieran Kelsey one, the two
So-
girls
so,
or whatever.
So
their
what
names are.
happened? This guy, he did really stupid things, and he basically he was dating this one girl, slept with her for a bit, but they weren't committed, but still. And then he wound up having sex with another girl like the day after he had sex with this other one.
And two Bachelorette girls.
Yeah. But this is not during the shows. But
And he was dating somebody else.
Yeah. Either way, it's a conversation we had during the 101. He wasn't honest about it right away.
Okay.
That gets you into trouble every fucking time.
Just be honest.
Just be honest
Just be
right up front.
honest.
Not 2 weeks before you go to the fucking show.
Right.
So he goes and he does that and he's basically a player. He's a player, right?
Yeah.
But I also
Not
think
a
that
very good one.
No. And I think the Kaylin girl is a little dishonest too. But the thing he did was shitty. Was at the very end. Was then he tries to snake it. Or I saw episode 2. He snakes his buddy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I was on his side until then.
Yeah. In this crying routine.
Oh,
of
he
his-
cries too much.
No. This guy is not a good actor.
You think he's full of shit?
He is full of fucking shit.
This is the homeboy that
Full of
released
shit.
all the text messages.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was the
yeah.
big. That was the big thing that was wild because then he releases a bunch of text messages on the internet that makes them both look like pieces of shit.
Yeah.
So that's why.
And then he was crying about that. He was like, I had to do this.
Yeah.
He's crying about that too.
Yeah,
Look,
on his
look,
Instagram story, Christian.
I'm gonna look right here. I'm telling all y'all that were talking shit about because we were talking about this. These are life lessons you need to learn. All right, if your ass want to get out your mama basement,
yeah.
you need to learn how to be a player.
The thing is when they hear a Bachelor, they're like, oh god, I
I
can't
know.
watch Bachelor, and I get it. I get Bachelor and Bachelorette. You shouldn't watch that show. I don't.
I get it.
For this audience, you shouldn't. You don't need to watch that show.
It's fine.
This show, this Bachelor in Paradise,
It's amazing.
It is amazing. John Paul Jones, he's sitting on the beach, and everyone wants to try to get his rose. And he's right. He's sucked out of a movie. This guy is such a character. He's amazing. He's from like Delaware or whatever he's from,
Yeah.
and he seems like he's pulled off a Redondo Beach. Okay?
Yeah.
And he's sitting on the beach, and this girl tries to get his rose, and she makes him tacos, right? And she gives him a bite of the taco, and he tries to be. He's the nicest guy in the world, and he bites it, and he almost throws up right there,
'Cause they're
right?
so
Because
bad.
it's- they're bad, or
They're
they're
hot.
Way
or
too
it was
spicy.
almost like
She's
what they did to when Makuga did that thing to Ellis, right? So his eyes start turning up. He's just throwing up on the beach, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "Oh, whatever her name is." He's like, "Let's say it's Sarah. Sarah, this is amazing." And he throws right back up, and he's trying so hard to be nice, but he can't because he's throwing up. John Paul Jones, keep that motherfucker on the show until the end. He is so funny. He is the best.
Yo, dude, God, everything he does, like I admit that I was watching The Bachelorette. They put like a pregnancy fake thing on
Amazing.
you to like simulate labor.
Right.
And this motherfucker, I have never seen anybody make the faces like this in my entire
He's
life. Like
so
if you look
good.
up one thing, just look up this dude with the little pregnancy thing. Oh my god.
All I ask you guys for, and I know that I can already see it on the playback, and I know you're all screaming and yelling that we're talking about this show, and we're going to talk about it for the rest of the season because it's fucking gold. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Just watch an episode, because if you come back and you say, I watched an episode, I just couldn't get through it, then I get it. But this is one of those things. I promise you, this is not Bachelor and Bachelorette. I can't sit through it anymore. When I was working there, I couldn't sit through it. Bachelor in Paradise is gold. Because you don't need to know who they are. You really don't.
Doesn't matter.
You see, you love it.
Yes,
I told you.
I
You
got
hate
into
it.
it.
I
turned
told
it-
you.
Specifically for the show, I said I have to do research. This is no shit. I told Julie I have to do research and watch Bachelor in Paradise. Her face said it all.
Right.
I'm like, all right. So I put it on, And we started watching some of it, and then I'm like, all right. And she was kind of like sitting back, and I go, all right, I'll change. She's like, nope, don't change it. Then we go to bed, and we put it on, and we fall asleep to it.
That's
Roxy,
my favorite part. That the three of us are losing our shit, and Roxy's like, God damn it!
The truth is, none of this matters because we've been muted for 3 minutes.
No. I told him, do not do that today.
You were like,
I said, do not do that
I'm a
today.
Big Brother gal.
I will do it for you, Roxy. That is the only reason.
Okay, let me preface this though.
Yeah.
It's 3 times a week.
Oh, fuck! Come on.
Roxy, just watch
On
the
the live
first.
feed.
Just watch the first one.
I'm watching Bachelor
Okay,
in Paradise.
all right.
Yeah, because I'm telling
can
you,
do it.
I'm telling you, I promise
It's
you. Like,
summer.
my wife and I, we were in the hotel in Maui.
Yo, Demi too, bro.
Which one? Oh yeah, she made some comment. It was so funny about the crazy Elise girl. Whatever. I can't
Yeah,
remember
she
what
said you
she's
need to
off
go
her
take.
meds
She needs to
today.
get off your meds. Go take a nap.
Yeah, no. She said grandma's off her meds today. Great stuff going on. Look, there's crazy shit going on in this
Great
show.
stuff
There's
going
crazy
on.
shit on this show, and I promise you, and it's you may think that you know what's going to happen on the show. You don't.
No.
It is best trash TV that I have watched in a long time.
Like Blake. Coming back around towards the end there.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
What a
watch,
fucking guy.
guys. Just go to Hulu, watch the first episode, so we can all watch. So we can talk about this together because
We're in this together.
Yeah, we're in this together, and I know there's some things you don't like us to talk about, so I'll talk about something you do want to talk about. SummerSlam. So SummerSlam last night was on, and I watched a lot of it, and I think that it was great. It was a lot of fun, and there's nobody in here that watches wrestling, so I'll talk.
I checked it a little bit.
Did
Trish
you watch
Stratus,
a little bit?
Yeah. Just
Oh, you
more
know
clips,
Trish,
yeah.
right?
I met her, but
Yeah.
I don't know her well.
How's she in person?
It was nothing but the one time that I met her was nothing but kind.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I was bummed because when I was there, it was during the time she was injured, and she was like one of my favorites back then, so I didn't get a chance to meet her. But she that match with Charlotte Flair was great.
Yeah, really good.
Seth
Really
Rollins took the title back from Brock Lesnar. I'm glad that they did that.
Goldberg came back, didn't he?
Goldberg did, and he pretty much crushed Dolph Ziggler. And it was funny because Dolph Ziggler gets knocked out, and then he's on the floor with the mic, and he's still calling Goldberg out. Goldberg goes up to the ramp, but comes back down and spears him again. And then he goes back to the dressing room, and Dolph Ziggler's and he's like just like crippled on the floor, and he's like, "See, he wouldn't do it, man to man." And Goldberg comes back and spears him again, like a third time. So
This is making me miss wrestling a little bit.
it's fun. It was fun. It was a fun show.
I was a little mad though because I got back from vacation myself this weekend, and on Twitter I saw
He saw
Nightwing
Nightwing
was trending, and I
Me
was like,
too.
"We're getting a movie, let's go!" And then I was like, "You mean somebody motherfucker?
What happened on that?
He was-
Somebody dressed as Nightwing at SummerSlam."
I didn't
Yeah.
see that part. I guess.
Yes, you probably did, and maybe
I fast
didn't
forward
notice.
through. I mean, because I watched it last night.
I'll go through
Like,
it
I couldn't
was.
watch the full 3-hour thing, so I went through a lot of the just straight to the
Undercards,
matches.
yeah.
I watched the Kevin Owens Shane McMahon match, which I thought was really good.
Is he still wrestling?
Shane McMahon?
Yeah.
he comes back for like special events, like the big pay-per-views, and he sets up feuds and stuff. So him and Kevin Owens is from Canada, so they did it in Canada last night. So
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know based on this title which one of them was in the full Nightwing gear.
Ricochet was.
Yeah,
But
Ricochet
takes
was.
on AJ Styles in full Nightwing gear.
He basically
Which
saying
one?
Ricochet was full-
Nightwing.
You
He was
guys don't
just
read
as-
that as takes on AJ
Who was
Styles
in? I think it would say who was in if it was AJ.
I just
Okay.
remember seeing online they were like Ricochet was dressed as Nightwing,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
like
so it
me
was
and
Ricochet.
every other
I didn't
Nightwing
see.
stand out there was just
I
like,
know.
we're getting a motherfucking movie,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like,
Well, that's been in the circuit for a while now that
Yeah.
there's going to be a Nightwing movie. So I saw that too. I saw it trending, and then I saw it next to SummerSlam.
It was
I was
Ricochet.
like, oh, yeah.
If you did watch, I feel like you'd be a big fan of Ricochet. Ricochet is awesome. Ricochet is awesome. He's really good. AJ Styles is actually one of my favorites too, but I like Ricochet, even though he didn't win last night. But he's a good up and coming talent. I like him, and I think that the Becky Lynch, she wound up winning against Natalya.
didn't she win the triple match at WrestleMania?
She beat
She won both
Ronda
titles,
Rousey.
right?
Yeah, she won both. She's only got one now. But anyway, so just a quick recap of SummerSlam. Check that out. That's on the air. But
Everybody seemed to be overwhelmingly positive about SummerSlam yesterday.
yeah, I liked
Everyone.
it. I liked it from when I watched it. It was good. It was a
pretty
good
cool.
event, and it moved. It flowed. Like WrestleMania feels like it's 87 hours. SummerSlam was 3 hours, but it moved, and I think that they kept
Well,
up. With that
WrestleMania
pace.
is 8 hours.
I know.
So
Jesus Lord.
Oh, my
and it,
God.
And it really shouldn't
It
be.
feels like 87,
It really
'cause
shouldn't be.
it's pretty
Anyway, but I did, going back to the Hawaii trip, I was staying at the Grand Wailea.
That's the name of the hotel.
Grand Wailea is,
Grand
yeah.
Wailea.
And they have this pool we didn't leave the fucking resort, by the way. We stayed there for
Your
5 days.
Instagram looked like you were on the vacation of a lifetime.
It was amazing. We just had the breakfast that they had. I'm broke now, but the vacation.
Was it all inclusive?
I mean, no. But the vacation itself was a lot of fun. We woke up in the.
Your face just now.
I was just like, I didn't know what
am
it
I
was. It
still
sounded like
there?
a monster, but it
You've been
sounded
gone
like,
for 1 week. You're like, what are the noises?
yeah, what are the noises? No, but I want
my
to go
God.
back. I wanted to stay there for 2 weeks, but like I said, it ain't cheap. But we woke up in the morning. We had this breakfast. Oh, this breakfast. So good. My wife and I. This is what parents do. What was the best part? The fucking breakfast. It was the buffet, and we would go there every morning.
Waffle
and
station.
you look out
Yeah,
and
but
you see
you're
the
up
ocean.
at 5 in the morning every day on vacation.
We were, but we were also in bed by like 9 or 10.
Okay.
Because it's 3 hours behind.
Right.
So I can smell the pool when you're playing this music. I really can. The pool itself is this huge pool, water slides. They're only it's got a water elevator. And my daughter and I went on the water elevator.
The hell is a water elevator?
So you go in with like
Underneath the pool? And then,
yeah, so it's again. There's layers of this pool. Like you go, there's first of all, they have this lava slide thing, this lava slide that you go. It's really fast. It was a lot of fun. There's a Tarzan swing in this pool. It's incredible.
So you're doing all things.
Everything.
Yeah.
So, and I have video of this stuff too. And I bought an underwater too late, but the last day I bought an underwater cover for the phone, and I have pictures of my daughter like jumping off the fucking thing going underwater. But we go in this water elevator, and there's like 15 people waiting to go, but they let in like. Probably 30 people waiting to go, and they let in like 10 to 12. And you sit on this tube, and the waterfall is splashing down everybody, but it just and this guy is like Aquaman. He comes flying up from underneath, and he's like, "Oh, so the first elevator built the building." I'm like, "Just take us to the fucking top." So we're and it goes and it's going around slowly, but it's just an elevator. So it's not like I thought it was going to drop.
It's a spiral elevator.
Yeah, so you're sitting on a tube, and it just kind of you're sitting around, just kind of slowly.
Starts
You're
to
not
go
getting go up.
Oh,
you go
up.
up, and it takes you to the next slide.
Probably then goes down after.
Then
Yeah,
goes
it goes
down,
down.
yeah.
I thought I was ready.
comes up?
I'm holding on to my
Let's go
daughter,
down.
my 7-year-old, waiting for the drop. It's just a what elevator. It just goes to the
That's
top.
fair.
And I was like, okay, yeah, but it's like it's the only working water elevator, and it was a lot of fun. But then the tide there in this pool, crazy. It's
The
like,
tide?
There's a tide. Like they had a rapid. I'm telling you, this
Oh,
pool
kind of
is
like Hurricane
Yeah,
Harbor,
I
like
think
the tide pool.
pictures
They're
or
like,
something.
All right, so I'll
Yeah,
show you
I
pictures.
need
So
to
when you
know.
start, when you get into the actual first big pool, people playing volleyball and everything. It's just like it's like where you get in. Then if you go to the left, I can picture this shit. So yeah, it's the Grand Wailea. Just put in the Grand Wailea pool. And then you go towards the left. That's where all the water slides and everything are. But then there's a rapids. Let's see if we can go to images. Can you put a Grand Wailea
Ooh, it's a
pool?
Waldorf Astoria resort.
Yeah, that's it. That's the.
Damn, Christian.
There you go. So the second one right there. So that's they have like a full on That's the water slide. Waterfall going all the way down there, and it's like you start. But like if you go down the rapids part of it, you try to push back. It's like you're in the ocean.
This place is massive.
It's massive, and it was so much fun. And I don't think I'll ever do it again.
Why?
It's expensive as fuck.
If you hit it big and you're loaded, would you do it again? Okay, so
100%. I would stay for a month. I'd still be there. But it's like, it's great though. It's great for the family. It was really go to that one right there
Are you
by the
boozing,
arrow.
Christian?
Right now, yeah, I'm hammered.
No, when you're there.
Yes, I'll tell you in a second. But just bring that one up. Yeah, the one you clicked on. Yeah, there it is. So this is like right in the area where there's like cabanas, and this is what you saw. This was my day every day. I loved it. It was great. But yes, Roxy. So I took because the baby has to nap at a certain time, so my wife would take her back up to the room. So my oldest and I would hang out at the pool, get her lunch, and pina coladas, doing the beers, and my daughter was like, "I want a pina colada." I go, "Well, not this one."
You got a virgin pina colada,
and she was calling it pina colada, and I don't know, it's pina colada. She said, pina colada.
You gotta be careful though. Did you watch Euphoria?
No, I'm not going.
No, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So one of the characters, she goes on a vacation with her family, and she falls in love with pina coladas. And like in the course of a summer between like 4th and 5th grade, ends up getting like 30 pounds because she's just drinking nothing but sugar every meal, every day.
Yeah,
like
but this character didn't have my wife as a mother because it ain't gonna fly. She said maybe 4 sodas in her entire life. So
wow.
so it's like it's vacation. So we were.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm in this moment now with Julie talking about the honeymoon, and this has come up Maui, and doing exactly what you did, and like get the resort and do that, or go to Italy. So I don't know.
You need the relaxation.
You don't leave.
Yeah.
You don't go like hiking or.
No, because again, with a 2-year-old, it's this is enough to do exactly because it's big enough. That's why we stayed here because it was big enough to do a lot of shit, and like they have restaurants inside of.
That's
the
what I was
place.
going to ask. But what's outside? Like,
So
did you go at
yes,
all?
I did. So this is why the resort's so great. Then there's a beach right outside, I went to the beach and
You like beaches?
Well, you know what I'm saying.
That was funny.
But there's So I'm on.
Just the rabbit. You
like the beach. You know about beaches.
There's sand.
They got sand. Guess what? And there's fucking fish that live there.
Is it fucking sand on this
fish.
beach?
It's fish.
You know, the sand.
He's a fish, and his name is Waldy. Waldy the fish.
Swimming by.
Where's the
I met
fish or
Waldy. Waldy the fish.
Oh, why not?
But we're hanging out on the beach, and we're on the beach. But then if you make a right, you start going down this strip. There's all the other hotels and everything too. Where we had stayed at a Marriott for my honeymoon 9 years ago, and we thought let's go walk down there, and we had dinner there one night. But the walk, and I'll show you pictures during the break. It was breathtaking, because it's shit like this. It really is, and you see, it's just that's why, Mark, if you wanted to go, you guys could just take a walk down that strip. It's enough.
Yeah,
it really is enough.
Yeah, I kind of want to do that, but she's never been to like anywhere outside of the United States. So Italy, Amalfi Coast is. On
I
the
get
table
that.
right
I
now.
think that's great, and that's a lot of fun. But to me, I just wanted to chill out, relax, and didn't want to like do a lot of the moving around. Running. You can get
If you
guys
go
can just
to
have a drink.
Italy, you have to do shit
Yes,
for sure.
you gotta do
Italy,
shit.
Italy is the best country ever. It's
Yeah,
amazing,
we're
but you
already
gotta-
talking about
Here you
doing
just
like
float.
Florence, Rome. Go
Yeah.
take a train, go to the Amalfi Coast, that kind of
You
stuff.
don't need to do that. Here you just float.
Well, this is what I want to do.
I'm telling you, man.
I was gonna say.
So
I'll
that's
send
not
you some.
gonna
I'll
happen.
send you pictures.
Please, because then I'm going to forward them on to Julie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
Well, that's the question. Are you guys more of like an adventuring couple, or are you more of like a chilling couple?
Mixture of
both.
Both?
Yeah,
Wine.
we're with
More of a
wine.
wine
So
couple.
I mean, Italy.
got wine in Hawaii.
Yeah, but if you're going for wine, you're going to Italy.
Italy,
If you're
we're
going to
talking
chill
about
out.
Tuscany.
Christian, 2 bedrooms, or how do you guys do
Just
it?
one. Yeah, we had
You
we
one?
had a pretty big room, and so my daughter, the oldest, slept on the pull-out bed, and we had a crib for the little one, and then my wife and I that's why I said when I was I got one of the splitters for the laptop, and we were going to watch, I forget what show we were going to watch, but then we said, oh shit, Bachelor in Paradise. And I'm like, you know what? I told the crew.
All full circle.
I said, I told the crew that they should check it out. I got to watch it when I go back. And then we watched the first one. I go, we got to watch the fucking second one. I mean, we got to watch that. I mean, I'm telling you, that show is incredible. And shame on you if you haven't watched it and you're shitting on us because you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel bad when you watch it because you're gonna go, holy shit, this is horribly wonderful.
Yeah, when the second episode that aired on Tuesday night ended, we watched this on Wednesday, right? It ended, and Julian, great, put on the next one. And I went, no, it's Monday. She went, what? You gotta wait till Monday?
I'm telling
like,
you.
yeah. She got into it.
Yeah,
So-
and you did too.
Yes, I sure fucking did.
What is it? It's on tonight, right? It's on tonight.
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah. It's on tonight. I got
Roxy,
the DVR set.
please watch Twilight tomorrow.
What have I
Or
been
whatever.
begging you for? It's a trade situation.
It's not a trade because this is different. This is to keep up on the conversation right now.
I'm gonna try
I
to-
want you in on it. I really want you in on it. I need your point of
How
view
many
on this.
How many episodes have there been?
So far,
Two.
just 2 of the
So I
season,
have to
and the
watch
third
3?
No, you don't.
I could just start tonight.
Just watch the first one. This is all I'm telling anybody to do. Just watch the first. Like I said to him, I told him just watch the first one, and he watched all 2.
If you get to the end of the first one and you're not feeling it,
then you're not gonna
odds
like
are
it.
you're probably not gonna like it. But the thing is, though, like once you get past the first 15 or 20 minutes,
You
the
know.
drama just
It
goes.
takes off.
Hard.
It takes off because I can see. I wish there was a camera on the audience while they're watching it because they're going to be watching like this.
But then I will know.
Oh wait, then 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be this. It's gonna be and then like.
Yeah.
Well, why did she go tell him that
Right,
during
right,
the date?
right. I'm telling
why
you.
would you walk up to
Exactly.
her during the date
Because
and
the
say
thing I
this?
hate about Bachelor and Bachelorette, the show itself, is that is that they stay too long on the dates. I don't give a shit about the dates. They don't care about the dates. No. They care about everybody just fucking around with everybody else.
I do love it when people, can I talk to you in a minute?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Here it comes.
Here we go.
It's like ding, ding, ding.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, so, but that was it. That was the...
I can't believe I'm into Bachelor.
I watched Bachelor in Paradise in Paradise. So
that is so
perfect.
cool.
It was
Sounds
cool.
like the best trip ever.
It was fun. It was good. It was good to come back, though, and be... I mean, you definitely got thrown right back into it. Like, yesterday I was doing... Just prepping for a move, so I'm moving, and so I had to take a whole bunch of boxes over to the new place. I was doing that.
Wow, the day you get back?
No, 2 days after. I got back on Friday, but yeah. So it's and then coming back to the show. I've been excited looking at the comments and just watched a little bit of the show for this past week. You guys had a lot of fun. I'm really excited to have Kelley Carter back on tonight because that was something I was bummed I missed out on. Whatever it was last week. Yeah, and so she's here, so we get a chance to talk to her today. We're going to open up the phone. Kelley's going to come in at 11. We're going to open the phone lines around 11:30, and we'll talk about all the other shit going on. Is there any other news that we should talk about?
Well, there's a lot of news.
What's the main topic?
The main topic.
Great question.
Thank you.
Is the hunt.
Do you like beaches?
So much.
Have you seen the beach in the hunt? Have you seen there's a big beach?
No one has seen it.
Nobody's going to see it because it was canceled. Universal sent out a press release. Yeah, sent out a press release that due to some of the things that are happening in the news, namely the mass shootings, they pulled the trailer down, but then there's some politics involved. No shit. And the hunt has now been pulled, and this caused a big reaction online all weekend.
This is dangerous stuff.
Yes.
This is dangerous stuff that you're starting to pull movies because you think they're propaganda. That's hard.
We've had it been happening with TV episodes a lot recently, where either they're completely pulled or they're delayed a week because of the material that they're dealing with based off of specifically mass shootings.
Yeah,
or canceled. Right with Heathers, wasn't Heathers
there's certain circumstances that you got to be wary of, and it's one thing to cut a scene. It's one thing to do that, but it's like. This was clearly because one party thought that they were being portrayed in a particular light, and they got it pulled, and then they blamed it on another thing that was happening in the world, which I think is very dangerous. And the same thing that, and I don't like to get super political on this show, but like even if you look, Walmart's pulling. This is my favorite story of the weekend. Walmart's pulling video games that are violent, but they're keeping the guns.
But they keep the guns. That is the most infuriating.
It makes no sense.
Stupid shit.
It makes no sense.
I've read so many articles on why, and I still.
It just makes no sense. It's like wait, you can, but you can't have that in there, but you can have the things that actually shoot people.
We're trying to change the mindset, Kristian.
It's crazy, but anyway, this is kind of goes in the same category because it's well, we believe we're being portrayed in this particular way, and if you take this type of stuff out, then none of this will happen ever again in the world. And it's like, no. It's not even. That's really not how. All you're doing is this is censorship at its finest.
I just don't understand what's going to happen when, because I love to. Who wrote the article for Collider for this?
And it's a great Dave Trumbore. Great article.
His headline is amazing. They cancel the hunt single-handedly solves America's problems. That's hilarious because what are they going to do with all of this propaganda when none of this is around, when no video games, no movies, and it happens again? Like what then? Like are we finally going to admit that it's a problem?
No, they'll find something else to blame. Yeah, that's how it is. And it's one thing though, and this is again going politics-wise. This is not a left or right thing. It really isn't. Because right now it's one particular team. Because it's what it is. It's teams. Because it's the same thing with the Epstein thing, and I brought it up earlier, right? This is what's so crazy about this whole Epstein thing. It's the first time in a long time that both parties have been unified as far as an agreement that this motherfucker didn't kill himself. That's now. It's now. I saw Facebook posts of like, no, it was the Clintons that did it. No, it was Trump that did it. We both know that somebody did it, right? And that's the whole point. There's no investigation, all that, and that's what unifies right now. It's teams. Because if somebody posted this whole thing about Epstein and did this, one of my friends, and then he writing like it was the Clintons, and I go, look, the best part about this whole thing is that this scumbag is off the earth. That's great in one aspect of it. The problem is that there's so much cover-up, whether it's whoever it was, whether it was the Clintons, whether it was the Trumps, whether it was somebody else, whoever it was, somebody killed him, and we're never going to find out.
Never going to find out.
There are pictures of Trump and Clinton like shaking hands. They were buddies.
both Clinton and Trump. It's like they're pointing fingers right now, but it's like there's a lot of people that might be under this.
I just wish that us in general, people would just wake up and go, you know what? Like none of these motherfuckers care about us. None of them do. They're all just doing all this crazy shit and fucking around doing crazy immoral stuff because of all this money, of all this stuff. They don't give a shit about us. No. Like Republicans, Democrats, they don't give a shit about us. And it's like, and we fight each other and we go after one another. Like, and it's like your guys and your guys. They're not our guys. They're not our teams. The fucking Democrats don't give a shit about me, and the Republicans don't give a shit about you. No one cares about. They say that they do because they want to get voted on again.
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? It drives me nuts because that's why I don't ever tweet about this stuff and talk about it stuff because I don't want to have a point of view for a team. I tweet for the Yankees because that's my team, right? That's the team that I sorry, buddy.
Do you think that the Yankees care more about you than the Democrats?
No, they don't. But I at least know that I get
a little bit more.
But I get satisfaction off of having them win championships.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit because they're more getting your money directly than say anybody else.
That's true.
But they're doing something for you. They're giving you satisfaction.
They're giving you entertainment.
They ain't killing motherfuckers in prison with my tax money.
This thing has changed so much. All those reports, my lord.
Yeah, but that's the point though. This whole thing, it drove me nuts with the Epstein stuff because it's like because here's what's going to happen. Just like everything else that happens in this country, and we all know this that it's going to happen, is that we will talk about this for a little bit. We will talk about it. We'll go, who did it? Who did it? And then like, oh, look at that new shiny toy, and we'll forget about it. It's the same thing every time there's a shooting. Everyone's like, gotta get rid of guns. Gotta do this. Gotta do that. And then move on to the next thing that sucks. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's a vicious circle.
I'm like conflicted right now because when I got home yesterday, I went in for a nap and I came out and there was like this little pamphlet someone put on my car for like a cult that was essentially like you're being brainwashed by your technology, like you're in a new form of slavery. It's the Holocaust all over again. And I was like, first of all, these are some very egregious claims that you're just going to throw out all willy nilly like that. But at the same time,
slavery and the Holocaust that's come after your people and my people.
At the same
really
time,
checking all those boxes.
They're checking all the boxes. They just want to make sure whoever's reading it, they all pissed off. Right?
Yeah.
But
and scare the shit out of you to listen to what they're saying. Fear. What?
But to that point, I mean, there is a little truth in the sense that you're right. We're being conditioned to constantly like new hot topic thing that comes in, and within 48 hours we're on to the next. Like to that point. I don't want to necessarily keep talking about mass shootings, but why is El Paso and Dayton not a thing anymore already?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because that's and the problem is the politicians know it. Yeah. That they know it. It's like one of those things where it's like, and that's why whoever it is, whatever, again, Democrat or Republican, well, let's tweet about this or let's talk about this because then it'll shift the attention away, and it's a vicious. It's a game. It's a game. Yeah. Like, and people don't realize it because they get on the side of because they hate so much. It's all based on hate on both sides. Because that particular, you don't like that guy because if you, let's say, people say, well, Trump, he goes off of the hate, and that's why his base is so good because of the hate, right? But the left side hates Trump. So they're based off all the stuff they wanted. It's all hate, and nobody's going to come together because we all believe that it's a team. And it's never bipartisan. I was watching this whole thing on CNN. When they were talking about, they were doing programs in the 80s, and how different news was. Like Peter Jennings and those guys were doing news back in the day before CNN came along, and then made it 24 hours, and then it really started getting because you go back and you look at like Cronkite and all those guys back, and it was pretty bipartisan, man. Like it was just there were points of view, but not the way it is today. And it's just like you pick a team. What team are you on? And we're not on the same page anymore, but. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. I apologize, but it's just one of those.
Because we
came from this.
Because we politicize movies. That's why. Because, I mean, The Purge has been out for however long, and that's kind of a similar scenario. Like, there's a literal storyline in the second movie about like a bunch of rich people like taking some of the poor people and like making a game out of it. So like, I don't understand why all of a sudden
they're even upset though. Talk about politicizing things. That's what's being referred to as what's going on in Hong Kong.
I heard about that. Yeah,
so, there's a lot of there's issues there as well.
Right.
Anyway, so
nothing we can say that doesn't have something like that.
Yeah. But right. It is a very dangerous thing but that's the one thing again. The two things that I should say also that I saw a lot of people were in agreement on this too. Both sides were in agreement that this movie shouldn't have been pulled.
No.
What do you think should have happened?
I mean, I didn't see the movie, so the question is how many of the scenes could you have pulled or changed?
Or do you think a disclaimer at the top?
Maybe. Yeah, but I think even you go back to the movie like The Interview, right? Mm-hmm. The Interview that came out, that movie got pulled and put on on
like I said, straight to streaming,
straight
right?
to streaming or something too, and it's like that type of, and that was during Obama's reign. So like, I think. Reign, when, you know what I mean? Administration. But everybody, to me, every politician has a reign now. So it's like it's Trump's reign. It's
I
Obama's
didn't even
reign.
wince when you said it. I was like, yeah,
that's true.
But it is. It really is. It's all false bullshit.
You know, the thing that upsets me though more so about this than anything is you take the situation where like I'm out here, like I'm on the verge of doing stuff, like I'm not there yet. I'm imagining the person that like booked their first major role off this movie and it's just gone. It's just instantly gone, and all of your stuff is gone. If any of the writers on that team doesn't matter anymore, you know, like
across the board, crew, actors, directors, producers, what have you.
The actress that plays Liberty Bell on Glow, which I'm watching again right now.
I was just going to ask you about that.
I just watched the pilot of the third season. I keep in pilot. The first episode.
Yeah, with
is season 3 out?
Season 3 just came out 2 days ago.
Baby.
I just finished watching this Blacklist.
So, but anyway, the girl who plays Liberty Bell, she's in that movie. The one
Betty
the Hunt.
Gilpin.
Yeah. And she's opposite with Hilary Swank, and that's a big role for her. She's starting to really pop, right? And then
it's Jason Blum.
Yeah.
Jason Blum produced this.
Crazy,
This was Blumhouse. Damon Lindelof wrote this thing. I mean, come on. This is like A-list pedigree stuff for like a horror movie based on one of the oldest stories in the book, The Most Dangerous Game. This is like just that story in today's society.
How do we decide which gun movies get pulled and which don't?
That's a great question.
Like John Wick, or you have the other horror movie that's about to come out. What, Ready or Not? With the woman gets married to the family and then they all hunt each other.
The family doing what this is.
Or us.
Yes. Well, look. This is all. It's all a matter of budget too, right? Because you look at Vox Lux. Have anybody seen it yet?
No, I still haven't.
I do
All
want
right.
to see
So
it.
Vox Lux, at this point, it's been out long enough. I'm going to tell you about what happens in the opening of the movie because I've been kind of skating around it. So if you don't get spoiled, don't listen. The beginning of the movie takes place in a school, and Natalie Portman's character is like 12 or 13 years old, and this kid comes in real fucked up looking, shoots the teacher dead, and then shoots the whole fucking class. You know, and it's
and Natalie Portman hides and
she gets shot.
Oh.
She gets shot and she almost gets killed, and she recovers. And it's kind of the whole basis of the movie is that she's recovering from this. She sings this song at the vigil, and that's where the notice comes from her, and that's how she kind of becomes a star. And it's haunting. It is hard to watch. It's terrible. You feel the impact, and it didn't feel like it's glorifying it by any stretch of the imagination. It feels like it did, but it's a scene that just mimics exactly what's going on in the world today. Didn't get pulled. I would think that if
Do you think because it wasn't a big enough movie?
Maybe, but I think that to me, it's if that is more realistic and more not prompting, but it could be prompting, but that would be pulled more so than like this, which is like Reilly said, Most Dangerous Game.
But what is it about? And I hope this doesn't come off as insensitive, but there are so many issues going on in the world. Mass shootings are a huge one, of course. But are we weighing it out above other ones that we aren't pulling things like war or genocides or whatever? Like, are we not supposed to depict anything on film anymore that is currently destroying part of the world?
Right.
I don't know the answer to that, but I'm just curious why this is the one that we...
Because it's political, Roxy. That's the main thing. The political, because it came out of the side.
So is genocide, so is war. We see them on screen all the time.
But it's political based on the administration at the time, right? Which right now it believes that they're being attacked. So there's enough. This is what I'm saying on both sides of it. It's like there's power to be thrown when whoever's in control is going to throw the power their particular way.
I think it's timing too, in the sense of when they see us, for example, wouldn't have ever been able to come out at the time that it was actually happening, or even a few years after. You needed a few decades for it to like go away before you could. The same way.
Literally, we wouldn't have been. It would have been a different story then.
Right? Of course. But I guess that's part of it too. Is if in the moment people like to freak out, especially because we have Twitter and everything else that like, you know, it gets more politicized and people just aren't ready, I guess, to handle it one way or the other, or they make us think that we're not, is the other issue.
It's a great point, though, too, because I remember one of my favorite shows was on FX a long time ago, 2005. Rami Malek was in it. It was called Over There. and it was about.
I've never heard of that show.
Exactly.
Over there.
Over there. So it was about the Iraq, about the war going on, but the war was still going on, and so it didn't play well because people could turn on news and watch the show. The show was awesome, at least for the first like 4 or 5 episodes, and it started getting a little silly. But like the first 4 or 5 episodes were great, and that was the first time I ever had seen Rami Malek. And anyway, so like, and that was exactly your point, is that people weren't ready for it yet.
Because I think the part of the issue is that if we're in the middle of it, then it's this weird thing of like, God, we're terrible, we're horrible, we're disgusting. Versus if you watch it and it's already happened, you're like, man, we were stupid back then. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a weird.
But do you feel like we're ever going to not be in the middle of this?
That's the thing. I don't think so. But like, it's funny though, because I saw you brought up a Twitter comment, like Hunger Games went over fine, and Battle Royale back in the day and from Japan went over fine.
Well, that went over. That went over in a different country.
Well, that's also true.
Here it played, like people kind of heard about it. Like, hey, did you hear about that movie?
Yeah.
No, what's that? It's got subtitles. I'm not watching it.
No, which is a shame because it's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
It's great. It's great.
Keeping in mind, I'm not fighting for any position.
I know
right
you're
now.
not.
I know.
I'm curious
It's good
how this is all going to work, and how long we're going to be in this state of what we can and have to pull, what we can and cannot.
It's a crazy time for sure, but I do want to try to move on to see if there's anything else going on.
How are you feeling about Glow?
About Glow, so far so good. It was the first episode. I watched the first episode of season 3 last night. I love Mark Maron. I think Mark, if there was ever anybody built for a role, it was.
He's perfect.
He's perfect.
He's perfect.
He doesn't even see. It's like he just seems like that guy. It's like there's no point that I go, he's not good casting. He's the best casting I think I've ever seen for a role. So good. So good.
Are you happy we're in Vegas?
Yeah. Well, it's what happened with the real Federation.
Right, but I just mean entertainment wise.
Sure. So far, did you watch? Have you watched the whole thing
Only
yet?
3 episodes.
Okay, 3 episodes. So I love how they opened it up and what they opened it up with and how they made it relevant to the time period and the stuff that was going on in that time period and how it factored in. To
Okay,
it.
good.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
I'm like Christian.
No, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But and speaking of Glow, Brittany Young, who's on the show, she was on a Schmodown before, and she had reached out. We're going to try to get her on again, even if it's to get her on the table, because she knows her shit, man. She really knows her stuff. And speaking of which, moving on from wrestling to Schmodown, we have a couple things going on. New York, we are at a little over 400 tickets, and we're at August 31st. Get there. We introduced an elite package to where you would get.
Oh, I saw
cool,
this.
Right?
Yeah, but not enough tickets for it. People
Well, there was only we only put 5 up, and they were gone in 15 seconds.
And
15
somebody
minutes.
had already been like, "Wait, I need another one."
15 minutes.
Oh no!
So the elite package, basically, it gets you one of the exclusive tour shirts that we do, but it gets you a meet and greet with us. You get to see the sound check. You get to be behind stage. You get a 10-minute interview with myself and Ellis beforehand, and you just
get to make out with Roxy.
Yeah. Well, I didn't offer that.
That was in the package.
Wait a minute.
Is this your way of getting yourself to New York?
I just got to know. We sold out of the New York
you're
show.
about to have a baby. You stop that, Cody.
Somebody's wife was just like, "I didn't know that was part of it. That's what we spent our money on, honey."
You're out.
Yikes.
But
that's so awesome, Kristian. Though it's really great.
Well, because they went so quick. They went 15 minutes. We put them up for Orlando, and that. Orlando. There we go. I didn't realize that theater, by the way. Jonathan sent me the picture last night, Roxy. Is 800 people. It fits, but the place is gorgeous.
The one in Orlando?
Yeah, the singles finale will be there. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Oh, you said it again. All right, sorry, Cody. Singles finale will be there, and then there's going to be another big match that I'm going to announce pretty soon. So make sure that
another location.
No. It's going to be so. I'm going to announce the whole card. Once I announce that whole card, if you're in the Southern Florida or even Florida area, you should find a way to get there.
The card
in October.
Florida.
Yes. So get there October 19th, and then Arizona. We only have 4 shows left for live. The SchmodownLive.com. I put a poll up last night about where you wanted to see us go next. Chicago's in the lead.
I saw that. Boston was so close behind, though.
But it doesn't matter. We're going to Boston.
We're going to Boston.
We're going to Boston for sure. It's just I want
to see. They were all
where,
pretty close, though. Even Pittsburgh. I was like, Cougs.
There's over 2,000 people that voted already, and you can go to my Twitter. It's pinned to my Twitter right now. Yeah, Roxy, if you can retweet it,
I'm going to retweet it right
now. And so if I want to see how many votes we're going to get, because we're putting together our tour. I'm doing it next week for 2020.
If I retweet this and Boston doesn't go up by at least 5%,
we'll see.
Then I don't know where I'm from.
Right now, can tell you, it is.
Your people have
almost,
failed you.
Shoot, almost 3,000 people. Almost 3,000 people. I put Boston, yeah. 3,000.
You picked Boston?
I picked Boston, yeah. 3,000 people right now. 29% Chicago, 23% Atlanta, 23% Pittsburgh, and 26% Boston. All right, there you go.
All right, just retweet it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, all right.
Don't fail me now, city.
Go on, Boston.
All right, cool.
That's not even an accent, is it?
Bah.
Boston.
Not boa.
Boston.
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 Oh wait, you know what? I didn't realize. No, that's right. That's right. Okay, Boston.
What?
Boston.
I didn't know if Alex had voted also. Alex, did you vote? I did. Would you? Oh, you voted for Boston.
Boston.
Okay, right.
Why, Alex?
Because I've never been there and I want to see it.
Oh, there you go.
And
Well, who says
great
you're
to go.
going?
And I want to support you, Roxy.
Oh, yes, Alex. The one thing is, though, Kristian, this has got to be a not dead of winter show.
I'm not going to Boston.
Okay, because it's brutal.
It's cool. I know. I might. It's crazy because we are going back to New York August 31st, but there's something that I loved about opening up the season in New York.
I know,
and
it's pretty cool.
doing it in Brooklyn again is something that I thought of. But there's so many things that we already have planned for 2020 that I can't announce yet that are just going to be nuts. So if you guys have a chance, go and
Hawaii.
No, listen. I would love to. I just
go
don't know how
there
big the
and
fan
then
base
never
is.
Were you
leave.
recognized there?
No, thank God.
No way.
No.
You were in a different mode.
I just was
I
just.
bet people recognize you. Just
I
didn't
don't
say
think so.
anything.
I was
No
just-
way, Kristian.
I was just floating around in the pool like a
You're
fat
at that
asshole.
level. You're at that level,
No,
dude.
no, I'm
They
not.
knew.
No, I was a fat asshole just floating around the pool with a
You're
pina
not
colada.
fat. You are a bit of an
One
ass.
person walks by and goes, "Fuck you! It's magic."
Fuck you.
It's an illusion.
All right, let's
I
go.
love that now.
You
See
do
this
like
now.
it now?
Yeah, I
Oh,
grew up.
Okay, good.
I'm
Fuck you.
mature enough to know when I can change my mind.
Nice.
And
Thank
I
you,
was
Roxy.
wrong.
Oh.
I'm really sorry. Thank you.
All right, let's try it once more for the stupid people. You know who you are.
That's me. I'm one of the
don't know who you
stupid.
are.
Who you are.
Hand or pocket? Just hand or pocket.
Pocket?
Hand. Fuck you. It's an illusion.
Fuck you.
Stupid. I'm fooling you and you don't
I
like
do
it.
feel very stupid right now. This is very
It's an
true.
illusion. Fuck yeah.
Fuck you.
Just keep going.
I'm fooling you. You don't like it. All right, let's move on to the next topic, Reilly. We got anything?
Yeah, we do. A new G.I. Joe movie is in the works, and it's featuring. Do you remember this character?
Oh.
Chuckles.
What?
Do you remember
No, I don't
Chuckles?
remember Chuckles.
He's in the
Show me
Hawaiian
Chuckles
shirt.
and let me see. Let me see.
Who
Chuckles.
has this? Warner Brothers?
No, Paramount.
Yes, Paramount. It's
So
Lawrence.
it's THR reporting that the duo that wrote Teenage Mutant Ninja I can't even talk.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Mutant
Turtles.
Ninja Turtles and writing Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Josh Applebaum and Andre Nemec are writing the script. It's in development. We have a Snake Eyes movie in development as well. So
Who's starring as G.I. Joe?
we don't
it's
know
not-
yet.
he's
No,
not-
I'm asking you guys.
There is no G.I. Joe. He's G.I.
Joe's the task
G.I.
force.
Joe is the
Well, okay,
first-
then the blonde
character.
dude, what's his name?
They're
Duke.
doing yeah,
Duke.
but they're not
Who's-
doing Duke anymore. They're doing Giggles.
Yeah,
or
there's
something.
Chuckles.
Cool. Okay, Chuckles then. Whatever you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
homeboy who's
Taron
ripped.
Egerton probably. Maybe.
Well, they don't.
Cooper could do
They're
that.
speculating here. They don't know if it's going to be taking place as a third entry after Retaliation, or if they're rebooting, which I
Reboot
think
the
they
fucking
are. They're
thing.
probably going to reboot.
I just want them again. I feel like a broken record when it comes to this type of stuff because the same thing with He-Man.
Yeah.
Base it off of the comics.
I know.
Yeah.
The
I know.
G.I. Joe comics from the day back in the they could get
So
dark.
good.
They could, it was the stories were so good. The sci-fi elements alone were great. The first 60 episodes of G.I. Joe was my comic. I could not stop reading that comic. I was obsessed with that comic, and yeah, they're just.
I can't believe his name's not Joe.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I think there was
What
an original.
happened?
I think there was an original Joe. Yeah, Bruce Willis played Joe. I think.
But there's
in-
nobody called Thundercat. That's the name of the group, man.
What's going on with Thundercats?
I don't know. Were they gonna make a movie?
Do you remember that
But
fake
Joe's
trailer?
a name. Thundercat's not.
Thundercat Joe.
Thundercat Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
First.
I do know.
But
now I know.
found
they
it
were
both
the
teams.
Yeah, they were the Thundercats. But that Thundercat movie. Oh no, what is that? Thundercats movie coming from Michael Bay? You're lying. That's not true.
2018.
That's movie web.
That's
though.
a
yeah,
long
yeah,
long
that's not
time
true.
ago.
That's a good
Yeah,
example on
that's not true.
finding who's. It was accurate.
No. Remember that trailer, the fake trailer they did with Brad Pitt?
I didn't see that.
Oh man, you can actually put
But
Thundercats
see-
trailer Brad Pitt.
But see, here's the thing, though. I'm terrified to see this because now all humanoid cats are just dead to me.
I know.
Yeah.
Like we don't need that.
Well,
But
at least we know the technology exists.
it does not exist.
Yeah,
that is
No,
that
you're
is
right.
a falsehood.
Yeah,
You're right.
This was made years. This is like 11 years ago, and
What?
yeah, it was made 11
What
years
was
ago.
Brad
before,
Pitt in 11 years ago?
You'll see. But it wasn't a.
There's
like,
an
deep
obvious
fakes,
one that you'll
like,
see.
The deep fakes weren't as. These are great. Watch this.
This is the mystic sword of omens and the source of our powers. The Eye of Thundera.
Right?
What?
The nobles gathered here, Panthro, Chitara, Tigra, will be teaching the skills you need to rule wisely and well. Thundera is gone, but the code of Thundera will live as long as you, as Lord of the Thundercats, carry it in your heart.
Gonna see the actual Brad Pitt when he you'll know the movie when they show him.
Lord Lion-O spent 10 galacto years in a suspension capsule. He grew in size, but he did not grow
This
up.
movie could work.
I'm not a kid
Is it
anymore.
Benjamin Button?
Anyway, go
Oh my
ahead.
God,
That's
that's
great,
Hugh
right?
Jackman.
They took him- oh my God.
What is it?
It's from Troy.
They took Troy. They took Hugh Jackman as
Yeah.
Wolverine.
It's great, but go
Wow.
go and check that out. The Thundercats movie drew 7 million views. Well deserved. Yeah, it's really good. Thundercats.
Thundercats.
Anyway,
That's funny.
I would love to. I would love to see it.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
Man,
Right.
you got like a whole Zoobly Zoo going on in here.
Son of a bitch.
They're not even.
It's off.
Cody wasn't even
He missed
He
it.
wasn't even ready.
It
It's my
already,
fault.
it already
Cody.
happened,
Yeah,
and
he
I can
missed
hear it, and I know you're lying.
No, Cody really missed
Doesn't
that
fucking
sound.
matter. I'm
think
gonna hear it anyway. Here we go.
I think you need to stop taking
There
off
we
and
go.
take it like a man.
You
know
Subaru
what?
Zoo.
Take it, Riley. Take it. Pretend you're
Yeah.
floating on a chair in the beach in Maui.
Guys, I feel.
I'm going to Italy because I need fucking wine.
You know what? I feel too bad. So let's all go to Orlando.
He can't shift that. He can't shift that fast.
Orlando. He was mixing them up last week.
That was for you.
Thank you,
I'm
Ross.
gonna need to come up with my own. Like, I'm coming back enough. I gotta come up with my own sound
Hell
cue to
yeah.
just mess with people. I'm
sure.
gonna think
Well, I
about
think he
it.
did it today. The sniff yourself.
The
Yeah.
sniff yourself.
Sniff yourself.
All right. Look, before we get to break here, because I want to bring in Kelley Carter, talk to her about some stuff. What? Anything else that we should talk about that's worth a damn?
The weekend box office is really
yeah.
the
What
only
was that?
big, and also I know you haven't seen it, but the first trailer. If you want to see what Coming to America 2, kind of like the humor, not that for Coming to America, but Dolemite. Craig Brewer is directing. Eddie Murphy. The first trailer did drop
For Dolemite?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's out there now.
interesting.
If you want to just pull it up, you can get a look, just see what the
know.
tone is.
I gotta
and-
get Craig Brewer in here.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta get Craig. He's been on the show.
Something
Dude,
with that.
they're getting ready to
Yeah,
shoot
no,
Coming
no.
to America.
I'm gonna reach out
Right.
to him. I'll reach out to him. Oh, look at that. That's really.
Yeah, but it looks really funny. I did watch
I'm
it
sure
right
it's gonna
before
be
we
great.
went
Wow,
live.
that is an all-star cast.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is. It's
Oh my God.
He's
Pretty much the
Dolemite?
entire team is coming to do capture.
Dolemite.
Coming to America too.
Oh, why didn't I know that this was coming out?
I don't know why I didn't.
This is what
know.
happened to me the other day.
About Dolemite?
No, about Blinded by the Light. Sometimes, I don't know. We miss things.
Dolemite. Oh, it's coming to Netflix. Oh, God, I
It's
can't
Netflix.
wait. I can't wait. Craig Brewer, I'm a huge fan of, and obviously Eddie Murphy doing anything.
Oh my
Give him a
God.
shot.
This is good. But this
Jordan
is that what-
Peele.
Jordan Peele.
Titus.
Titus.
I think Wesley Snipes.
So what? So
Wesley
what is it? It's
Snipes.
about? Oh, so it's about the actual filming of the movie. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good.
Oh, this is gonna be so
Yeah, I'm
good.
excited.
Mike Epps. Oh, good lord.
Mike Epps was supposed to play Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
at
he
one
was.
Point.
That fell
through.
apart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he would have been a lot better.
I mean, it would have been great, man. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure the project will come back up at another point. But
Is it called Dolemite is My Name, or is
Yeah.
it just called Dolemite?
Dolemite is
Dolomit's
my name.
Yeah,
Do you ever see Dolemite?
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny.
a long time ago.
Yeah,
Take
I
it easy,
actually
fine.
don't remember it at
Oh,
all,
I
but I
love
do.
it.
For
Used to
me,
watch Dolomite all the time.
God, what is his name? Black Dynamite. That's
Oh, that's
what
right.
it's like.
Yeah.
I feel like is like a light, like
Yeah. We had him in here.
What year was Dolemite?
Dolomite was. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna say it's 1972. I'm probably way off. Can we
It's
go?
a good guess.
I'm gonna guess, but Dolemite.
1975. You were close.
Shitballs on a cracker.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want any? They do not serve those in Hawaii.
It's a spread.
But they are on the plane.
Stop.
Boom.
They're on the plane. That's true. That little girl was pretty good.
I still have never noticed that one time.
What?
People
farts on
farting
a
on
plane?
a
I haven't either.
It's gonna hit you. Well, go with a family.
Orlando.
Oh, that was the other thing, by the way, in this plane. People, they have no manners.
No.
So we sat
It's not
on the
a-
way
it's not a surprise.
where the little girl was farting up a storm, right next to. So it was like her mom, and then some other guy, right? Then there was my wife, my 7-year-old, and then me. That was the section. Right next to it was the bathroom. Okay, so we said at first, "Oh, this is great. We're not gonna have to go back and forth." And we realized we're by the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so the bathroom.
You don't want that.
No, you don't. You don't think it'll be a
Because
problem.
they stand there.
No, it's not just that they stand there. These
smell?
These fucking people, these animals, they leave the door open.
Yeah, why would you
after
do
they
that?
come out? I screamed out 4 times. Can you please come back and close the door? Because I was all the way by the window, and I'm like,
Jesus.
I don't want to smell your shit. And it's like, who? Look at what I did. This is wonderful. Good. I'm glad.
Well, I just don't understand why, on an airplane, how on earth could you leave the door open? Like, you have to
You have to
close.
slide the door. There were some people. There were some
gotta
people that
close.
actually.
What
and I
airline
watched,
were you on?
American.
Those should auto slide back. They normally do.
Some do, but sometimes it did, but sometimes it stuck.
Yeah.
I always check, and
Yeah.
because I was like, no one needs to smell that, and I shut the door. And there were some people when I was looking up, and I was like, oh, look at that, they shut the door. That's a good person. And then other, I'm gonna let you smell my shit.
You guys can poop on a plane?
That's one of my
I
favorite
can't.
Hannibal Buress jokes I've ever heard in my entire have you heard it?
No.
He literally I'll find it for you and show you at the break, but he's essentially like, on October 15th, 2004, I had the worst thing that ever happened in my life. I had to take a shit on a plane. I went through all the motions. First I was in denial. Man, I ain't shitting on this plane. Then I was like, yo, I damn sure ain't shitting on this plane. Like, just he goes through the whole thing.
funny.
It's absolutely incredible.
No, I
couldn't
didn't do it. But there are people that were, and they leave the door open. Please don't do that. That's not a nice
really
thing.
rude.
At least, even if you don't think the door is sliding, just check. Just look over your shoulder. There's a poll.
Sliding Doors, great movie.
Yeah, there's a poll on Collider Live right now where Reilly should go on his honeymoon. Is it Hawaii, Italy, or the Motel 6 in Pacoima?
You're not.
still don't
You're
know
not
why we're
kidding.
trying
I've
to
stayed
make this
in
a
many
thing.
motel. Yeah, I know.
Why?
Right? I can probably figure it out myself. I don't need a poll.
I meant the Twitter.
Oh.
I meant the
Why?
Collider.
Why? I don't either.
Confusing
What are you
Twitter.
gonna do?
I love it. Go follow it. Everybody now.
Vote for Italy there.
Yeah.
No, I voted for Hawaii.
There it is.
Yeah,
Damn
I
it.
vote for Hawaii too. So have you guys also, if you haven't, make sure that you comment, leave comments on the live stream. Leave comments on if you're watching on the replay. Make sure you go to the Apple Podcasts, subscribe to us there. Check out all the great shows that we have here on Collider. And we'll go to a little break. It's a little early, but we're going to break. When we get back, we're going to have Kelley Carter in, talk some stuff, and then at 11:30 we're going to open up the phone lines.
Hey guys, Reilly here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops in on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast, because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week we're going to try to get some very interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Hey guys, Perry Nemiroff here to let you know that The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. We also have clips on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel, and on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Perry here to let you know about the new edition of Collider Movie Talk. We are going to 5 days a week. We have a short, sweet 20-minute show where we focus on the 2 biggest stories of the day. You can expect to see all of your favorite Collider personalities on the show, including Jeff Snyder, John Roca, Haley Fouch. You're getting Josh McCouga every Friday. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be informative, fun. Come join us. 3 p.m. PT live every single day of the week, right here on the Collider Video YouTube channel. You can also find the show on the Collider Movie Talk feed on our podcast network, so go watch, go listen, however you prefer to get all of your movie news.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, if you've been watching us every week, we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel. And if you want to take us along with you in your ears, you can go and subscribe to the Collider Sports podcast feed for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Reilly here. Let me tell you about the Reilly Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Reilly Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars, and if you want to catch our weekly show where we talk about the latest and greatest in Star Wars, it's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel, and you can listen, you can watch, you can do all of it, but if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real.
And we're back on Collider Live. Apparently something about our guest, Kelley Carter, just makes it so Kristian Harloff can't be in the room.
What did I do to him?
I don't know. He's such a super fan of yours. Maybe he's just really nervous.
Okay, well, we're going to go with that then.
It was what premiere that he saw you at?
It was The Lion King, yeah.
I think it's more that him and his daughter are both huge fans of yours. And that's
Okay,
why.
I'll take that.
Winston also still here with us. We didn't scare you off yet?
No, I'm good. I mean, you mentioned Kelley. I had to come and see who y'all, what superstar y'all were talking about. So,
Because he's been raving about her. Like, so much so that I think you're maybe only the 3rd guest that we've had back twice at this point.
Really?
And never in this short period of time.
Oh, my gosh.
And you're in pretty good company, David Delsmachian being the other one. Kristian, you decided to join us?
This bathroom situation. It's,
yeah, but it was weird because the bathroom was open and you just wouldn't use the women's bathroom.
I don't think that's right.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah. All right,
It's
enough
very
about
kind.
me and enough about you.
Yeah.
I am so excited to finally get to talk to Kelley Carter.
Yay.
I'm going to ask you a lot of the same shit that they asked you last time
Let's
because
do it.
I need to. When I went to the Lion King premiere, I took my daughter with me, and she was just losing her mind, right? And I was nervous I'm always nervous about the pre-show because a lot of times I feel like they don't get people who know about the movies, can kind of go off their feet. And I'm watching this pre-show, and I go, wait a minute. What the hell was that?
It sounded like a fart, but I think it was a phone.
It was a Mario.
Oh, it was good.
I go, wait a minute.
I was saying it sounded like a video game.
But I'm watching. I go, wait a minute. This is really entertaining, and they've got someone here who knows her shit, can go back and forth with these actors, is comfortable. I'm like, this is amazing. And the other reason is that my daughter, who she's got an attention span like me, like, oh, look, like a cat with a string. And she's watching and she's listening to these interviews because you made it so, it was just so fun to watch. And you made it I think that it was between, adults could watch what you were doing, kids could watch it because you were just being a human being listening to these people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I apologize because when I brought it up the next day, I was so excited about it, to talk about it.
Yeah.
I didn't do enough research to find out your name.
It's perfectly fine.
And then thank God our mutual friend Marshall
Weinbaum.
Yeah, he told me, he reached out to me. He goes, the woman that you were raving about is Kelley Carter, and she had posted about it, and you guys should meet. And I go, please. We became Facebook friends, and here you are.
And here we are.
I know.
Oh, man. Well, again, thank you so much. That honestly was one of the kindest and best things anyone's ever said about my work. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
That totally made my life.
No, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got a chance because now it created this relationship that we have here today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so tell me a little bit about it. So because I know you work for ESPN, you do all these where did your career start? What did you where are you from originally?
Yeah, I'm originally from Michigan, suburban Detroit, but
my sisters
I
are from
represent
there.
Oh, see, okay,
Yeah.
I represent the city though.
Right.
I don't do that whole suburban city shit. I mean, you spend enough time. My grandparents actually had a house inside of inner city Detroit, and you spend enough time, so weekends and whatever. I represent the city.
But that's yours.
How'd you get involved in this crazy business?
Yeah, so I mean, basically what it comes down to is when I realized that I could get paid to be nosy.
Yeah.
I was like, sign me up. I mean, you know what I mean? And I studied journalism at Michigan State University, did a bunch of internships in college. My first job outside of college was actually starting in Detroit. It was at the Detroit Free Press.
Okay.
And it was literally the same year that Marshall Mathers signed to Dr. Dre.
Holy shit, yeah.
And I thought I was going to Detroit to kind of learn about being a theater critic because I loved live theater and I wanted to cover that. But then music became extremely important at that time because of Marshall. And also my last internship before I arrived in Detroit was in Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, which I primarily went there to kind of stalk Prince a little bit. Never happened. That would happen
Never met him?
15 years. I did.
Oh, you did?
I ended up being, sadly, one of the last people to interview him.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So it would have been years later after that internship.
How was that interview?
It was crazy because I didn't know I was going there for an interview. I literally just came back from an annual conference that I go to every year, a journalism conference. It was in Minneapolis that summer. And when Prince saw that there were all these black journalists in town, he invited us for a dance party at Paisley Park. But we didn't know if he was going to be there or whatever. So gets to Paisley Park, no cell phones, no alcohol. It was very much, restricted. And then I was grabbed and was told to walk down this hallway with a couple other people and walk down the hallway. And I remember turning to one of my friends and I was like, what are we doing? And she literally said to me, bitch, you know what we're about to do. And I was like, wait. I wasn't really prepared and ready. So I walked down the hallway and I was the first in line. So I walk in there and he's sitting behind the boards in Studio A. And he stands up and says, in a gold lame pantsuit and his afro is picked out in platform shoes and says, hi, I'm Prince. And I was like, well, I'm Kelley.
How long did you get with him?
An hour.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Wow,
it was
that's
awesome.
long.
It was
Damn.
funny because he was he looked around. He goes, let's first he said, turn up the light so the doves can see, which was hilarious. And I was like, oh shit, there actually are doves in cages all over the house, which was crazy. And then he's like, let's go up to this conference room. And so his handler is leading us down this long hallway, and then you look over to the right-hand side, and there's this 50s kitsch diner, and all I was thinking was, is that where the pancakes are made that Dave Chappelle was talking? And I regret, obviously, not ever asking him that, but it was awesome. We sat up in the conference room, he sat next to me. Anything goes, just talked about a bunch of stuff. And then at one point, he was because he was so serious the whole time. And he was, because he was talking about how he likened record contracts to slavery and kind of his fight with his masters and how he didn't think that his body of work was financially valued as much as the Beatles' body of work, like with, Apple Music and all that kind of stuff. And then at one point he looks at me and he goes, and, I don't want to keep you for any longer because we should probably do whatever it was we had intended for our Saturdays to be. And I looked at him and I was like, actually, I'm happy with my life choices because whatever I did landed me sitting next to Prince.
Right.
So I really could stay here for forever. And he looked at me and he laughed. And in my mind, I'm like, holy shit, I just made Prince laugh and I'm deceased right now.
That's how I felt when I made Stallone laugh. But I was making fun of my own body. But is that the gold standard now? Because you meet Prince, you love Prince, you get an hour with Prince. Is that kind of the one that you hold at the top?
It was a good one, but he didn't allow any recorded anything. So I literally had to race back to my hotel rooms because I was like, so this is on the record? He's like, it's on the record. I'm like, all right. So I literally had to force myself in the moment to memorize everything and take all of the mental notes. It was like the toughest thing I ever had to do. I mean, yeah, I do.
I have a shit memory. I would be like, I met Prince. What did he say? Hello.
Were you concerned about misquoting him?
Yeah. I mean, I was, but that's why I mostly, the quotes that stood out were the ones that I, went with. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of, and what's funny is it's really like Journalism 108, which was the mass media course at MSU, where, they kind of tell you, what would you tell your best friend or your mom the 5 minutes after you interview that person? That was probably the only time in my 20 years of doing this that I ever really used that very specific nugget where I was like, well, I'm now forced to literally, what the hell am I telling my friends about Prince? And I was like, okay. And I just kept repeating it and repeating it and repeating it because I kept getting asked what he was like. And then that just stuck in my head. So
that's phenomenal. I mean, you could tell because I think that it's one of the things that I picked up at Lion King is that people just like talking to you.
Yeah.
Right? Because one of my biggest gripes, and I've talked about it in this show many times, is that when people sit down and interview other people, if they ask you a question, they're thinking about their next question and they're not listening to the person. So it's the standard that everyone goes to is, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then they ask the next question as opposed to you just missed a nugget there that they gave you because you're so focused on the other question.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. I think it was with Eric Andre that you were talking to, and he had said there was something, and you could tell you wanted to ask something, but he said something, and you riffed on it.
Yeah.
And you started playing. Is that something that just comes from, experience to where you said, okay, look, I'm just going to have conversations with these people and have some fun?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of my approach, I think, to entertainment journalism, with very few exceptions. I mean, unless you're talking about a news story and someone maybe is being, under criminal investigation. Yeah. You really are sitting down with the world's most famous people, and in a lot of cases, we know everything there is to know about that person, or they're being interviewed constantly, so there's always information out about that person. So I just generally try and have an organic conversation. I really try and humanize, people who we have elevated to this deity status because of kind of wherever celebrity culture is right now.
They're our royalty. They've always have been in the United States. Yeah.
And it's just gotten even crazier and more insane in the last 10 or 15 years. So I really am always just let me try and disarm people and then just have a conversation. I think it helps when I have repeat people that I'm interviewing, but I never interviewed Eric Andre, for example. That was the first time I would have ever met him, in life. And so I don't even remember what it was I would have asked him, but because I didn't have any parameters or directives, which sometimes that is the case, especially when you're doing live TV, or if you're working for maybe a magazine, they specifically want you to talk to this person about this one thing. And so I have it in my head, I can't let this person leave without asking them about the new baby, or you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. But in this case, they were just have at it. Do whatever.
That's got to say trust in you, though, because that's why I wanted to ask how you got the gig there, because normally for those shows, whether it's the Marvel ones or the Star Wars ones, there's always two people. Mm-hmm. They always have two. You were by yourself.
Yes.
That doesn't happen. So that's got to come in with trust. Were you supposed to have someone else, or they just said, Kelley, why don't you do this thing?
No, they just asked me to do it. And I was surprised when I was like, oh, so I'm doing this by myself. Because I've never done that for them before.
That's hard, man. That's tough.
Yeah, it's really tough. And I think Disney has asked me a couple of times to host, their world press conferences that they do, usually, before a film comes out. And, I wanted to do it for The Incredibles 2. And I couldn't do it. It was, a timing thing. And then they asked me to do it for The Lion King, and I couldn't do it for The Lion King. It was ESPYs week. And it was, the day of ESPYs was that press conference. And then they were like, hey, well, since you can't do the press conference, how about hosting? And I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to say no to that because that sounds really cool. Right. So, I'll give it a try. So this was really like our first time even doing this tango. But, I think they obviously know probably who I am as a journalist. Right. And, and I know that a lot of times, talent, as you well know, when you go in to interview people, you're already like pre-approved. You know what I mean? Like you have to get sign off from like the talent themselves, their teams, or whatever the case may be. And so I think because they knew that I had the trust of a lot of people, again, I didn't know everyone, but they felt confident, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm glad I didn't.
So are you going to do another one?
Mess up. I hope so.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. I sign me up. I'll do it. I don't think Disney specifically has another film coming until really the end of this year with like Frozen 2 and
Star Wars.
They have the
Star Wars.
Event.
Oh yeah,
they do.
That's true. There you go. Well, everyone should be using you, not just Disney.
I would hope so.
But let's talk about ESPN.
Yeah.
So sorry, Roxy, did you have something?
It's okay. Go ahead.
ESPN. When did you start working for them? And
yeah, gosh, I am in my second contract with them, so 4 years,
Okay.
like 3.5 years, something like that.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Thank you. It was really like a dream situation at the time. I was working for BuzzFeed covering entertainment, and one of the VPs who's no longer there, she's now over at Amazon, which is great for her. But Marie Donahue, she reached out to me and said, hey, what's your contract like at BuzzFeed? I was like, well, I don't have a contract at BuzzFeed. And then her second question was, essentially, would you like to come here and create your dream job? Which is, that's such a dream phone call or email, whatever scenario to be in. And I was like, I would. Tell me more. Yeah. And essentially, they were creating a space, The Undefeated, where they wanted the intersections of sports, race, and culture, whatever culture was, to be kind of to live, in happy marriage together, and I could create like my own space for that. And the only thing I was thinking at the time was, I needed something different to talk to people about because, like I said, I do get a lot of repeat customers, and it's like, okay, what am I going to talk to Denzel Washington about this time?
What a problem to have.
Which is a hell of a problem to have. I understand that. But, I was like, okay, ESPN could be kind of fun. But I was looking, the year that she called me was the year that LeBron James was in the Amy Schumer movie.
Oh, yeah.
Trainwreck.
Trainwreck, thank you. Trainwreck. And I thought that was interesting because I'm like, okay, so you have, the most famous current NBA star, in kind of an unlikely film that that wasn't a film I would have put him in. Right. And I'm like, there could be something interesting there. Maybe there's something happening. And so when I left BuzzFeed to go to ESPN, we hadn't quite gotten off the ground yet and still not really knowing what would happen. All of a sudden, all of these things started coming about, but I had no place to report about them because we hadn't launched yet. And I was so freaked out, like, oh my God, like, what are we going to do? There's a Jesse Owens biopic that's coming in February, but we're not launching until May. What? All this stuff's going to be gone. What do I want to do? And it turns out that isn't the case at all. Kobe wins an Oscar. Steph Curry is trying to take over Hollywood. There's so much happening right now.
They all have production companies at this point.
They all have production companies, and they all aren't vanity production companies. They really are entrenched. I haven't done the pieces yet that I want to do specifically like with Steph, but when he is in season, he is flying up to LA, on his day off to sign off on stuff or to take pitch meetings or whatever, and then going back to Oakland or wherever out of town he is playing. They really want to make an impact. And I think seeing Kobe Bryant, win an Oscar, his first thing out the gate after NBA really inspired a lot of people and changed the game.
Well, and one of the things we talked about earlier in the show that I wanted to ask you about, because and not to get too deep into it again too, but I think that a lot of times with movies and things that you talk about, how politics kind of blends into things, right? We're seeing that with this movie, The Hunt. So I don't know how much you've heard about it. The fact that The Hunt got pulled. It was this movie by Universal. It was essentially the Hunger Games, right? But it was where the elite were being hunted, and the current administration believed that it was kind of a play off of liberals kind of going after conservatives, and the movie was pulled by Universal.
Wow,
it was pulled, and it had Hilary Swank in it, and and my point of it earlier was not necessarily making it a right versus left thing, but my thing was I just think it's a dangerous thing in general to start pulling movies off because and the excuse of it was because there's violence inside of it and that they believe would incite someone to do a mass shooting, which is the same reason Walmart now is pulling video games instead of pulling the guns off the show.
Right. The logic. Yeah.
Right. So it turns more into a political thing than I think than it does. But I just think it's dangerous. I think it's very dangerous to then start kind of cutting down art that particular way. I wasn't sure if you felt the same way.
No, I feel exactly that way, actually. I think that, when this industry is at its best, I think cinema and television really can be activism in a lot of ways. And I mean, when you think about it, that essentially is kind of the foundation, at least of the last 50 or 60 years of Hollywood, certainly. And we're seeing that happen a lot more. I mean, look at what happened with Ava DuVernay's When They See Us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or there now is the Brian Banks story that's out in theaters right now. I mean, and so on and so on. There's this really great film that's coming later in December, Clemency, that premiered at Sundance. It was phenomenal. It's not based on a true story, but it is something that will affect change. And I think that, to kind of halt that process out of fear of what may or may come down from, the current administration or what may feel uncomfortable is probably the wrong thing to do. I just feel like there's going to be one day very soon that we're going to feel like we've been on the wrong side of history with regards to that very specific thing, like pulling art, off the slate because we're afraid of what the trickle down might be.
I'm very curious too because you mentioning the Undefeated. I'm sure you worked with Jamel Hill when she was there for a little bit. Not at all.
No, I did. Of course.
I was like, what?
No, Jamel actually is my best friend.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm made of her honor in her wedding. So
that's dope.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Well, Jamel was the one who tweeted out to us and said, "Her name is Kelley Carter." Get it right. I went, whoa!
There you go.
No, there you go. Knew it real fast.
I'm so sorry. I want to apologize.
No, don't apologize. Don't apologize. That was awesome.
Well, she's great.
All I was ultimately going to ask is because obviously the very public battle she had dealt with her exit with ESPN and everything. I know she's doing really well with her podcast. How hard is it to find that balance of finding the culture and talking the little bit of politics that needs to be talked while also trying to maintain any sort of sports reporting, but any sort of just integrity in general for your reporting with people, with Twitter, with the backlash and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, probably because I come from newspapers and newspapers tend to be my foundation. I think that it's possible because it has to be possible for reporters and for opinionists to exist in the same space. And so because I feel very comfortable being a reporter, I think that it's important for me to report shit out, So if somebody is taking a knee before the game, or if someone, and they do, quite frankly, when I do interview athletes, it almost always becomes a political conversation. I have to give them the space to talk about those things because that's what my job is right there. I'm documenting essentially what's happening in real time. So while you may not see me tweeting about my personal politics because I do think that my bosses would have a problem with that, but I think that my bosses at any place that I've worked at before would have a problem with that because we do have to represent the brand in some way, shape, or form. That said, I think that there is a space, and there should be a space at the Undefeated and at ESPN for opinionists to, feel comfortable to weigh in on things that are happening that they feel are injustices, especially when so much of what's happening right now in sports centers around social injustices that, a lot of these athletes are realizing their platform and they want to be more than just football, more than just basketball. And so while they have the ears and eyes of people paying attention, they want to speak out on things. And that's the history. Muhammad Ali was doing it 50 years ago. You know what I mean? So this isn't a new thing. Yeah. It's just that we have social media now, so it feels very much amplified in a way that perhaps it didn't feel amplified when Jim Brown was doing it. But it's the same thing. These things have not gone away. These people have not gone away, and people realizing their platform and their ability to echo what they think is wrong has not gone away.
So how do we handle it now? Because like you said, you would see Jim Brown, you would see Muhammad Ali on an interview, and then that may come once every couple of weeks or something like that versus an everyday thing. How are we able to continue to push that but not to deal with the alienation, I guess, with people feeling overwhelmed with it and trying to say stupid shit like shut up and dribble and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
But they've never shut up and dribbled. Do you
True.
know what I
No,
mean?
exactly.
You know, they've all. It just feels more amplified because
More
of
eyes
the
and ears
social.
and-
It's more eyes and ears in social media space, and people who weren't paying attention to sports have to pay attention to sports now. And people who thought, for whatever silly reason, that sports would be a distraction from what was happening outside of the arena are realizing that that's not the case. You know, that people are, these athletes are citizens and they have a right to voice their, discontent with whatever they feel is wrong that is happening.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that it's our responsibility to cover those things.
To just keep pushing them and let them air that all out and just keep like encouraging people to think and move forward, right?
Roxy, go ahead.
Have you thought about being an opinionist ever or wanting to be an opinionist and felt stifled by the fact that you are a reporter instead?
I mean, I think I kind of lean into being like a cultural critic. And I feel like far more comfortable in that space. I think for me, if I'm being honest, I am just now getting comfortable with my voice, my written voice and what I actually speak out loud, because I've been very much, limiting myself to staying in this box of being a reporter. But, when you become essentially, an expert of something, and I think for me, my expertise isn't necessarily like entertainment. It probably is more like, intersections inside of entertainment, talking about like people of color or women and things like that and kind of the parity issues that happen inside of that. People start calling on you and wanting you to talk about it. And ultimately, you are starting to use a critical voice when you're talking about those things because you're the authoritative person in the room. So because of that, I would venture more leaning into that space than necessarily talking about politics. I'm somebody who, and I was talking about this with someone on the plane yesterday, where if it's not for work, what I watch for pleasure is like Love After Lockup. You know what I mean? It's like reality TV because it's not work to me. Like watching film and TV shows feels like work to me. What does not feel like work to me is, really shitty but oh so good reality TV shows.
Bachelor in Paradise.
Honestly, like
did you watch the first one?
I didn't, but I would marathon that. I'll marathon the hell out of that this weekend.
We were just talking about it, so I'm telling you, people don't understand the movie, the show itself, Bachelor and Bachelorette. Don't ever watch.
Okay, don't watch that.
Bachelor in Paradise is a fucking train wreck. Watch it. It's
You
amazing.
set me up for this. You don't even know.
I'm so sorry because what I was gonna say is reality TV and it's like political debates. Like that's
same thing.
That's a departure. I'll
thing.
order a veggie pizza and pull up a comforter on my couch, and watch that because I don't have to report on that shit. It's not work for me. It truly is a departure, albeit a very stressful departure in my life. It is a departure,
This is a strange way to phrase this, but so you do have opinions, you just choose not to share them.
Exactly.
Okay.
In a public space.
In a public space.
If we're at a bar or in my patio, let's have at it.
Right. It makes perfect sense.
People say it's a lot of times like it's kind of like a catch-22. Sometimes people go, "Oh, don't talk about that. You should talk about movies." But then, hey, how come you're not talking about that?
Yeah.
It's like because of exactly what you just said. When you're working for a company, you can't, even if it's like, well, you have freedom of speech. You just say whatever you want on Twitter. No, you can't.
Right.
Because you're still representing a brand. You're still representing somewhere. So people don't always understand that because Twitter is so accessible. Oh, let me just do this. And how many people lose their jobs because they just did this?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then get confused by it because it's only protecting you from not getting arrested or prosecuted for it. But that doesn't mean they can't say like, sorry, there goes your bag.
Exactly. Well, I mean, exactly, because you brought up Jamel, for example, and one thing that she does that I love when she does this, it's like my favorite thing ever, is she gets a lot of really horrific messaging from people like on Facebook, especially like inbox. People slide into her inbox and they'll say really horrible, very racist, very sexist things to her. So every now and again, she's like, you know what, I had time today. So she will literally repost what they have posted and then we'll tag them and then we'll tag their employer in it.
Yeah,
and I mean, people and other
God,
people.
I love her
other
so much.
people, I know, right? She's amazing. But I've seen other people do this too. And then and then people kind of, the group jumps in on it and starts, oh, let me tag your manager this because everything is online. Like LinkedIn. Like, don't be stupid. And people have lost their jobs or been reprimanded because they think that they were being funny, being like a troll, saying something hurtful, offensive, threatening to kill someone, whatever the case may be.
And it's not just that, though. It's a lot of that, but it's also because they don't see the other side as human beings. They just see it as a computer screen going, oh, I can say, oh, there might be a reaction, but they're not. They don't see it as human beings.
Exactly.
That's why I always go, whenever something happens online, people go like, fire them, fire them, fire them. It's like, but you don't know everything yet.
Yeah.
Did you guys see what I posted the other day on Instagram story? I took it down after 20 minutes because of this reason. But there was a guy who sent me a message. It was like 6 a.m. I woke up, I looked at it, and it was full-blown jerking off with a picture of me.
God.
And so I took it. I did not take out his name, and I posted it right on my story.
This was the guy that said this to you?
And I covered his penis with an X so that I was not. First of all, my grandmother follows me, so I was like, I don't need her seeing somebody else's penis. Whatever. And the amount of hate that I received for doing that, I was like,
really?
That doesn't make sense.
They were like, you're the perpetrator here. You're the one, whatever it was. It's like, what?
No.
Like, what is up with this planet? I'm waking up to a random man's penis with a picture of me, and I'm the problem for putting out his name.
When was this?
A few days ago. I took it down after 20 minutes because I was like, I thought that because I reported it to Instagram and they said back to me, this is not against our guidelines. Sorry.
Are you serious?
And so I was like, can I posted it saying, can you guys please report him? Maybe if enough of us do, because he had been doing it, and I had gotten a lot of people kicked off of Instagram for this. But it's just like I respect so much that she goes the further step to tag the employer because
for sure.
Instagram's not going to do crap, but some of these companies will just at risk for themselves.
How is that not a violation of Instagram's
I don't know.
policies?
I've been threatened to be raped. They've sent me my address. They've posted pictures. Sent me every parts of their bodies, and it's not against Instagram's guidelines or policies. So I don't know what is because you want to kill me, you want to rape me, you want to send me your cock, and none of that is against guidelines.
But didn't they have a thing where they were taking posts down of women who had their nipples were visible?
100%.
So that's against Instagram's policy. But all of that stuff you described is not
against their policy.
Wow.
There's tons of shit. Like I had something that happened about a year ago where I don't make it visible now, but my brother had passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
So, thank you. But about a year ago, and some maniac was making fake accounts on his name and all stuff of just like how just really horrible things.
Oh my God.
And I reported it to Instagram many times.
Yeah.
And the accounts are still there, but they couldn't do anything for it. But apparently they caught this particular person who denied it at first, but there's legal action now because of it. You could.
Kristian, but you say that like they're the ones who put in the effort to catch that.
Oh, they did.
Not what
It wasn't Instagram. No. Well, to be honest, and we didn't talk about it completely. Mark Andreyko is the one who was able to really make it happen. And Andreyko was the one who is a really good friend and made it happen. But there was other things that this person had done against him and Reilly and a couple other people. But anyway, the point is that there should be more stuff to protect people in general, especially horrendous shit like that. Those are crimes.
It says right in it that it's against their policy, but when I report it, it's not against their policy.
I don't know. It's interesting because at ESPN, as you might imagine, the female front-facing talent, they get a lot of things that you just described, like men threatening to rape or kind of sexually explicit things. Like on Twitter, we've talked about it in public forum at ESPNW, which is a conference for the women who consume ESPN and who work at ESPN. And we've talked about that before. And there was some effort with Twitter, at least, to really hammer down on that. Like, I report people on Twitter all the time. I didn't for a while. And then I was just like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to start reporting these assholes because it's not right. Like, I may feel the way that I feel about certain political candidates or whatever the case may be, but I would never threaten to kill someone or cause damage to someone. Like, that thinking doesn't make sense, and it's not a sane way of thinking.
People need to know that there are circumstances, there are consequences.
Right.
And I think because, again, like I said earlier,
it's the computer screen, man.
Yeah, they don't realize it. Because that was the same thing that I'd seen. Another friend of mine, Simon Thompson, was threatened, a couple that were just kind of insults, and he's like, "Oh, whatever." Then the guy made like a death threat or something. He's like, "All right, now I'm going to find out who you are and where you live," and he reported it, and the guy's in trouble now. And it's like because you have to.
You cannot threaten to kill somebody.
No, right. Well, and what's funny, they're trying to go after violent video games as like the actual thing. The most vulgar thing I've ever done as far as video games, like what I've seen, is the way people talk on like in those chats in video games, like the language they throw around, because they genuinely don't think that it's a real thing, so they just say and do whatever the hell they think they want.
Oh, it's like the other gamers.
Yeah. Yes, not me personally. No, not me. But I'm saying the other people are saying that stuff, and it's disgusting. And I think that's the biggest problem is that people still don't understand that like there are real, like you said, there are real people on the other end of this.
Well, I say it all the time. The problem is that the best person that you know in the world, the best person, like you can say, if I said to you, who do you think the best human being? That person has access to Twitter, right? And I think of the worst person you know in the world. That person has access to Twitter.
Exactly.
So that's why it's like
2019, if Hitler was alive today,
he'd have access
he would
to
have
Twitter.
Twitter.
That's my
Exactly.
point. My point is that like so when you have people like we're sitting in a room and we like to believe that we're all decent human beings. That we wouldn't do things like this. But there are people out there that don't see that type, whether it's that type of morals and you can't teach them by having a conversation into the microphones, unfortunately. It's just it's not going to change their point of view. There's people who are watching this show right now, some people are like, oh, I understand what you're saying. There's other people who are just writing shit. Right. It's just, and they haven't heard a thing we said. You know, that's just it's the culture we live in. But I'm glad we're able to have this conversation. And this is not the last time you have to come in. You live in Los Angeles,
I
right?
do. I live in LA. So,
okay, good. So
whenever, I'm happy to come down here.
I would love that. And you should come back more. Kelley Carter, where can they find you? Because you have so much stuff you're working on right now.
Yeah. I tend to definitely tweet out everything. So it's at KelleyLCarter.com with 2 E's and Kelley like the Irish intended it to be spelled. That's what I like to say.
Are you Irish?
I'm Black Irish.
Cool.
No, I'm not.
You do?
I'm not.
I believe it if you say it.
No, but I've been saying that for so many years, and I went to Scotland years ago, and everything was spelled Kelley, and I was like, I found my people. I knew I was onto something.
Well, make sure you find her, follow her on Twitter, follow her work, and I'm glad that we were able to do this in person here. This is your second time on the show. It will not be your last. I can't wait to see you again. Thank you, Kelley Carter, for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to be right back. After the break, we're going to open up those phone calls, so get the questions ready. 11:30, 11:40. We'll be ready for some questions.
Hey guys, Reilly here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. New episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Hey guys, Perry Nemiroff here to let you know that The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. We also have clips on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel, and on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the witching hour.
Who
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Perry here to let you know about the new edition of Collider Movie Talk. We are going to 5 days a week. We have a short, sweet 20-minute show where we focus on the 2 biggest stories of the day. You can expect to see all of your favorite Collider personalities on the show, including Jeff Snyder, John Roca, Haley Fouch. You're getting Josh McCouga every Friday. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be informative, fun. Come join us, 3 p.m. PT live every single day of the week, right here on the Collider Video YouTube channel. You can also find the show on the Collider Movie Talk feed on our podcast network, so go watch, go listen, however you prefer to get all of your movie news.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel. And if you want to take us along with you in your ears, you can go and subscribe to the Collider Sports podcast feed for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Reilly here. Let me tell you about the Reilly Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Reilly Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars, and if you want to catch our weekly show where we talk about the latest and greatest in Star Wars, it's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel, and you can listen, you can watch, you can do all of it, but if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real.
Hey, everybody. We're back. It is Collider Live, and I love Kelley Carter, man. She's awesome.
Is she awesome?
She's awesome. Yeah, I didn't get a chance. What are you guys all tweeting about over there?
I didn't tweet out the show and then realized none of you guys tweeted out the show, so I'm going to tweet out so people
I tweeted it.
Why don't you do it afterwards?
Okay.
Don't worry about it now.
As you wish, sir.
Yeah, she's great. She's really great. She's just a sweetheart of a person. Glad that we
very smart, man.
Super
very
smart.
Smart as a
Yeah,
whip.
she's awesome.
Glad we got her into the fray because we are adding new personalities all the time, and I think that it's one of the things. Like Kate Mulligan, who has just been kind of she wasn't on last week, right?
No, she's gone for the next 2 weeks.
I'm never on with her. I hate that.
Yeah.
Well, you were on with Dorina last week.
That was great.
Oh, I got to tell you. So what's going
Dorina.
on with this garbage can situation? I saw that.
I'm so annoyed with the Collider Live response.
I saw some guy who told her to pick up a garbage can over her
Everybody's
head
telling
and
me
put
to
it over.
put it over my head. They're like,
I'm with Roxy.
She's
on
like
this.
5'2".
Exactly.
It's literally
We went through
insane.
this.
They're like, how weak are you? It's like,
You're little.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, you're little.
Like, leave me alone.
It's probably the same guy that took a picture of himself jerking off.
Not one guy. All of the people on Collider Live's Facebook. There was like a few defending
They
me.
weren't
but, like,
on your phone. So
no,
I
not
got to
at
come by and
all.
look at this thing.
No, I'm going to show you pictures. You didn't see the pictures?
No, you couldn't see the picture. I don't know if he zoomed in on it one time, but I was
will
listening
show
to
you,
it on the audio.
Kristian, I will show you this, and you'll tell me honestly.
It's pretty tough.
I've had 5 people come over and look at it.
It's amazing.
In person.
We got to send video over there. We got to send a video team over there to check this out and then interview the neighbor.
We're going to get to the bottom of
we
this.
get-
I just want to.
Collider Live, an investigative
Would
series.
you ask the neighbor to come on and talk about this on air?
No, I'm not asking her to do anything.
Why?
Because she is such a, she's in law school. She's a freaky deek.
Come on, let's put her on the show.
You
Roxy.
should show the damn text.
Roxy.
And I'm looking. I'm trying to go to favorites so it's easy to get back and forth. It's
Yeah, I agree with you, Shia.
this
We should
is
get her on the
this
show.
is the space between.
Okay.
What about the corner there? Can you turn it? Can
Right.
you turn it around the corner?
What corner?
Well, there's like a little shift right here. Can you maneuver it in that way, or is it too tight? Too tight.
It's right up against it.
Okay.
This is the size of the barrel.
Yeah.
All she has to do, if she wants
So
you to play,
I have to lift
She needs
it.
to pull back a little bit.
Yes.
Pull back a little.
That's it.
Pull
That's
back
it.
a little.
Just.
Or I said pull back a little or park in the street that
Oh,
night.
please get her on the show. Let's
There's no look where the tiger is versus where that like. There's no. I can't
I get
fit
it. It's your trash can, and she's blocking the entrance so you can't get it out there.
But the neighbor wants her to take the can
out.
into. She said
Because
nobody
it's-
else takes it in. She said everyone else takes it in, but Roxy doesn't.
Why can't she? Does she take it in? Can she get up out there?
She's saying she can. It's I pulled it up next to
Tell her
this.
to take video of herself
I
doing it.
dragged it right
Yeah,
next
yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit.
Right.
I have to lift
So there's
it.
no- so there's
I
no-
like killed myself trying to lift this can.
I want this debate so badly on this show.
I
Is
can't
there no
believe
chance?
it.
Well, I think we should send a crew over, film
To
this.
video it
to
first.
Everybody's
video
like,
to
you don't
video
have-
how tight it is.
Everyone's like, you don't have to lift it over your head. It's not that tall. I'm not that tall.
Then we also film this,
Yeah.
and this is a
That's-
science experiment.
But that's exactly what we've been talking about. Everybody has their stupid ass opinion on the
Just
internet, man.
move
Like
your
just
car.
This one's about
we're
garbage.
not over this. So
No.
we got to figure this out. All right, let's
Pull
open
your
up,
own
Let's
weight.
open up those phone lines. See if the audience can pull their own weight here and have a conversation. We have about 15, 20 minutes. So whatever you want to talk about today, anything we talked about on the show or anything else, go ahead and call in. Cody's flashing that number on the
I
screen.
want to talk more about Hawaii.
We can do it
I
tomorrow.
just want to feel like I'm there.
Do it tomorrow. Hey, you're on Collider Live. You're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hi. First of all, Roxy, the trash can thing that's like not your problem.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hated to me.
My favorite caller ever.
Thank you. This is Stephanie from Ohio.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
What's up, Stephanie?
First of all,
I've been
vagina.
trying to call in forever. Who called me a vagina?
Me. But no,
she
I'm
was
saying.
excited. She was excited that she
Oh,
called
good,
you.
good.
Yeah, she was
Okay,
excited.
good.
I've never heard anybody say, "Oh my God, she called me a vagina."
I thought she said, "Who called me vagina?"
No, she was excited. All right. Sorry, Stephanie. What do you got?
My question is for Roxy. I know you used to do stuff with AfterBuzz for the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still watching the challenge?
No, I don't watch anymore.
What
Do
is
any of
that
you guys? So it's the competition show, basically the people from Real World, but now it's also from Are You the One and even some
Better
Big
be a
Brother. I
competition
think
show with the name of the
Yeah,
challenge.
the challenge, yeah. So
It's a better version of Big Brother, in my opinion.
It was awesome. I loved that show
Yeah.
forever. That's where
What?
Johnny Bananas comes from. You know who that is?
Right. Yeah.
No, really? Wow,
No.
that's
Sorry.
so he's so your up your alley.
Oh, okay.
It's a great show, but I was too incestuous with the people on the show. They were always coming on my
Oh,
show,
I see.
and I felt really guilty, and I was talking crap about some of them, and it was
I
it
understand
was
what
too
you're saying.
much.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
too
yeah,
much,
yeah,
so I
right,
stopped
right.
watching.
Right.
Why is the season good?
That's why I'm glad Jared and Ashley are good
Good.
people.
Yeah,
and they're not
yeah.
on the show anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because some of these people are garbage people.
That's what I'm saying.
And some
So-
are great.
Right. Okay. Well. You garbage. You garbage. You want to call garbage boy?
You want to call garbage boy?
Thank you. Hopefully we see him in Boston. All right. Well, thank you, Stephanie, so much for the
Thanks,
phone call.
Stephanie.
Appreciate
You
it.
rock, babe.
All right. Let's get another one in here, too, because like I said, we got 20 minutes, so fire those questions away. Or 15, whatever the fuck. I don't do math.
Well, it's a
Oh,
quarter.
I hope you don't do math. Meth. I thought you said meth, and I was like, you have two children that are very small. I hope
That's
you
where you
don't
got.
do
You
math.
know what? 12:45, and I haven't done my meth yet.
This is the same thing as last time. Maybe I'm not supposed to ask on air, but I'm going to. Which
Yeah.
one of you guys is smoking cigarettes?
God, you've been saying
smell it?
this. I
You
have
that
no
freak
idea.
nose, huh?
Yeah, I have a freak
You got a
nose,
freak
but
nose.
one.
Sadie's got a freak nose, too. But
Not
No.
smoking cigarettes.
Never. I mean,
Is it the mic?
Yeah, must. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not me. I don't smoke cigarettes. Cody, you got a call?
Not right now, Derek.
Uh-oh. Like I
Not
said,
me.
guys, 15 minutes. Whatever you want. Call on in. You got 15
Well,
minutes.
there wasn't a call.
Guess not.
Stephanie with her vagina saves the day.
All right. Hey, you're on. Hey, you're on. Hey, you're on Collider Live. What do we got?
Lorenzo from Nashville.
What's up, Lorenzo? What do you got for us, man?
How you doing?
Good,
I
what's
got
up?
two things. First, John, I've been thinking about it over the past couple of days about what your favorite superpower wanted to be.
Yes.
And I think you're 100% correct.
Who? Me or?
You are.
Thank you. I like
You
that
are.
call.
Psycho.
It's a good call.
Because it's not necessarily about controlling other people.
That's right.
And more so just about getting your best understanding out.
That's right.
Which I can totally get on board with. So you're not necessarily trying to control anybody.
That's absolutely right. You're the
You're
best
just
caller I've ever had
make
on
sure
this show.
that you're being
Mussolini,
understood. So I've been
Stalin.
thinking about that for a while.
Thank you, Lorenzo. And that is why you are officially better than anyone at this table except Marshall, because he hasn't weighed in on this.
I will
have
say
no idea what
I
you
will
chose.
say
I'm gonna
that
take a guess.
That's a good point. We should have Winston weigh in on this.
You're right, but but I also want to make sure we get to our phone calls and the best
yeah,
and the
convenient.
and the best
Lorenzo
caller
had a second
the best
question,
caller in the world has a second question. So Lorenzo, please, the floor is yours.
Did you guys finish watching Big Little Lies?
Yes, it did.
Yes.
I have not.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Did you like
it
it?
for me?
I love the show. I just started watching it on you guys' recommendation.
Yeah.
And but what I can't understand from the beginning all the way to the end of the second season is why, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but why wouldn't they just turn themselves in?
Scared.
Because they probably wouldn't have gotten in trouble.
Yeah.
They might have scared.
It was I think that what they try to show is that it's the fear and the protection of what these women try to do for one another that essentially is the title of the show, Big Little Lies, and it turns what you thought was the right play turns out maybe it wasn't.
Lorenzo, you're not the only one to have that question, though. A lot of people have asked just that. To me, it just makes sense because you never know when you turn yourself in what could
What's gonna
actually
happen.
happen.
Yeah, they
and
could
it
turn
could
it
have
on,
gone
yeah.
wrong. Also, I will say that Lorenzo is such a hot guy name, just so you guys
there you
know.
go.
Yeah, you can't be with the name Lorenzo. You can't be not.
So Lorenzo,
cute.
based off our recommendation of Big Little Lies, will you be watching the first episode of Bachelor in Paradise this weekend?
I can't say that I will be.
Oh, I'm telling you, man.
That's
Watch
a
the
shame,
first
bro.
episode. Call back next week.
got me.
That's a
You still
shame.
love Lorenzo or no?
I do like Lorenzo.
You got to
because
use your
Lorenzo-
superpower apparently to convince Lorenzo to see it.
Well, this is what I'm telling you, Lorenzo. Lorenzo, I think
Mind
that if you
control.
watch the John
He's
Paul
gone.
Jones scene, is he gone? Is he off the air? No, he's right there. I think if you watch that first scene with John Paul Jones, you're going to find some pure comedy in there, and I believe that you will call back next week and you will say that you were wrong and that you liked this first episode, even though you wanted to hate it. That's what I believe.
Worked
Let
for
me tell
me.
you something. Let me tell you something.
Yes, sir.
I think it worked.
All right, good.
Superpower worked.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
That superpower is coming
I
through.
thought you said you'd only use it for good.
Yeah.
I just did.
That is for good.
That's entertainment. What am I going to do?
Pure entertainment.
Otherwise, he turns on the news and he's sad. And then now he turns on
Bruh,
Bachelor in
when you-
Paradise and he's having a good time.
Lorenzo, when you meet my boy John Paul Jones, you will never ever regret it.
Yes,
I
My
swear.
name is John Paul Jones. All right, let's get to another call. Thank you so much, Lorenzo. Please call back again. Otherwise, we're going to get Saul.
Poor
If we
John
don't-
Paul Jones.
If we don't have him right away, what is he specifically referring to? What superpower you'd want?
It's a longer conversation. I'll
Okay,
tell you
that's fine.
after. I'll tell you.
Mind control.
Pretty much Hitler.
It's not. It's
Oh,
not,
Lord.
not. That's the stupidest thing anyone's ever said. She said some things before. That's
Was it a
off the
twat
list.
take?
That was a twat take. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got next?
Hi, it's Danny from Miami.
Hello, Danny from
Danny
Miami.
from Miami.
Danny, I know it's a 4-hour drive, and I understand this, but we are going to be at a 700 to 800 seat theater in Orlando with some of the biggest cards and talent there on October 19th. Will you be joining us?
I'm actually going to be studying abroad in London.
That's a good
Congrats,
answer.
man.
You sound like you're from London.
All right, fuck
Yeah,
you.
I hope I pick up the accent when I get
All
back.
right. Well, what do you got for us, Dan?
My favorite director probably ever is Edgar Wright.
Mhm. Nice.
I love Scott Pilgrim and I love the Cornetto trilogy and stuff. I was just wondering if there's any property, whether it be established or not or whatever, that you guys want to see him tackle. That's not Ant-Man, obviously.
I would like to see him in the comic book world, though.
Edgar Wright.
Oh,
I like
Cody.
him. I like him
Cody
doing.
knows.
I like him doing his own original shit.
I do like that too, but there are some. I think it was best about Ant-Man,
Yeah.
but I do still want to see something.
Well, Ant-Man, people forget that when he was originally signed on to do Ant-Man, it was before the MCU was a thing.
Right.
So he was just designing a Marvel property the same way they did Daredevil and all that other shit. back
Didn't I
then. So-
hear him in rumors for, what was it, Batgirl or something the other day?
I thought that was Kevin Smith.
I didn't hear that. Wait, can you guys help or no?
Batgirl.
Yeah,
Edgar Wright.
Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's.
I just want to see Edgar Wright.
Batgirl.
No, rumors.
Oh.
He just was rumored to be something. Oh,
Directing
directing
Bond.
Bond.
25.
That was from April.
Mm,
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Either way, I'd like to see him do his original. Original material. I think he's just one of those guys that's able to do it. He's in that category, and I think that it's just it's so different every time he puts something. I love Baby Driver. I've seen that movie like 4 times.
Well, he's threatening a Baby Driver too. He said that he wrote this. He wrote the script and
yeah, man, whatever he wants to do.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
Well, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it.
Magic School Bus.
We got another one. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Magic Dragon.
Hi, this is Lauren from St. Louis.
Oh,
Lauren.
Lauren, what do you got for us today?
Roxy's face.
Yeah.
It's classic.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk to Roxy because I, like her, am a huge Big Brother fan.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my God.
My girls are going through for me today. Yes, Lauren.
Cody just lowered your
the
mic.
best.
So good.
Sorry.
What is your deal with? Are you Team Cliff right now? Are you a Cliff-a-maniac?
I don't know. He's like, the problem with that whole side of the house this season is they're all floaters and all
know.
of them are strong. They should just get together and be like a strong team, but they can't
They
do it.
can't
And
because
they're-
Jessica
yeah.
and Nicole are just like they can't. They just
Totally.
can't. You guys know what I mean? Rocky 5.
I know. You're getting us back, and that's fine.
I got her back.
I totally feel you. Who do you think's gonna win?
Ralph.
I was thinking yesterday, actually, Nick is like secretly
I love
in
him.
a good spot.
Naked.
I
Because
love
he's
Nick.
a little bit between everyone. You know, he's like secretly has kind of a good spot right now.
Guys,
Okay,
Nick's
let me-
girlfriend Bella
let
is
me-
the one I told you who said that she wanted somebody to do her eyelashes in there because
Oh.
otherwise she looks like a thumb.
That
which is what's funny.
conversation reminded me of your ex-wife and her mother having a conversation.
Why?
Right. It was one of these things. Hey, you remember? Everyone's going to know this. You remember that time?
That is you. Every
remember-
time you talk about
you-
Bachelor in
you-
Paradise
you remember-
or Rocky
I have someone
or
here.
wrestling.
I have someone here who actually watches the show too. So that's not true.
I have somebody here who watches.
That's not a real person. It's a phone line.
She's a real person. I believe in
Definitely
you.
a real person.
Oh,
She's
fine.
realer than the
Fine.
people on the computer, Christian.
That's
Come on.
fine.
Let Roxy have this moment.
I'm just saying, it's like that time when we went riding in the park. Now, everybody's going to know this. What was the name of the horse, his trainer, who was there, and his daughter from high school? What was her name? Does anyone remember that one?
I don't remember, but I'm going to go with Pete.
That's right. That's exactly right. It was Pete.
I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Where are the brothers to call in to talk about Bachelor in Paradise? I just need one brother to just be like, hey, what's good, Winston? Yo, it's your boy Jerome. Like, real talk, though. Like, what's going on with Mike, man?
Roxy made this request about 6 months ago to
True.
finally get
Well, we
a
got
number of
Stephanie
women.
is
So
absolutely-
6 months from
she's
now,
absolutely
This
a
is
real
my,
person.
guys, this is my show today.
It absolutely is.
That was a very real
Slay.
call and a very real caller. So thank you for the phone call. Let's
You
do
rock.
one or two more here, and wait for Cody Hall to yell at us with the Boston
Not right
scream.
now, Derek. Wait, I said that the other
Hey.
day. What's it from?
Well, right now, Derek,
Yeah.
it's
It's
from
one of their
some
YouTube
videos.
guys.
Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hi, this is Kate from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh my God, this is like an embarrassment of riches.
Roxy's having a blast.
I'm stoked too.
It is time for the ladies. Yeah.
Wow, it's
Kate
ladies'
and
night.
all of your vagina glory, baby. Yeah.
All right, Kate, what do you have for us today? If it's a Big Brother question, you'll be hung up on.
No,
Kidding,
no,
I'm kidding.
no. My brother likes that show a ton, but not I.
Yes.
I would like to ask Kristian.
Yes.
Did you ever finish Stranger Things season 3, and what did you think?
I did finish Stranger Things season 3, and I thought it was great. I think it was, for me, it was more on par with season 1 than the second one was. It felt like they hit all their moments that they wanted to hit, the nostalgia, but it played into the new stories. I thought the characters were really flushed out. I thought that the ending, although predictable, was fun. And
What's your ranking?
1, 3, 2.
1 through 2.
Yeah. 1, 3, 2.
What about yours, Kate?
1, 3, 2. I would say I shouted some 11 forever. Mike and Elle. I would have to say 3, 1, 2.
That's mine.
I was rewatching. Yeah, I was rewatching 2 yesterday, and I was like thinking to myself, like, it's a really good middle. I'm really excited for 4.
Me too.
I can't wait to see what happens. I'd love to see. I don't want to spoil anything
Please
because
don't.
Can't be around me. Can't be around
Do you
me.
watch
with
anything?
Stranger Things
I
with
watch
spoilers.
all the things. That's the
But really
problem.
excited for season 4. Can't wait to see what else they can bring with the kids and the rest of it. But I just wanted to ask. I love Stranger Things. It's my Star Wars.
Yeah, well,
Anyone
that's
who
cool.
knows me knows how
That's
obsessed I am with it.
That's
and,
so great.
I just wanted to see how you guys
Yeah.
thought about the rest of it.
I love that. I'm glad that you called in to talk about that. Thank you very much.
Yes,
we really get to one
Kate.
more call. That was a good
Yes.
call by Kate because I didn't get a
Yes,
chance. The other show that
Kate.
did you get a chance to watch The Boys yet?
Yes, I
almost
watched.
Done.
Yeah,
almost done. It's so good.
I watched
So
the first
good.
two episodes. I'm going to finish because I'm going back and forth between Glow and The Boys.
I think
10
you have
minutes?
to
It's
finish.
great.
I would finish Glow first, then
Yeah,
go to The Boys,
yeah,
though,
all right.
because that's going to be hotter in conversation.
And shorter episodes, yeah.
I love the first episode I watched. I got to get my fiance on board for this.
Can't do it.
She's like, I don't want to do superheroes. I'm like, they're
She doesn't-
skewering it.
It's
Come on.
The whole point is against it. Yeah, let's do one more call and then we'll call it a day.
Can we make it?
Yeah. Hey, you're on Collider Live. What do we got?
Hey, it's Josh from Florida.
Hey, Josh. What part of Florida are you in? Because I'm going to ask everybody from Florida this question.
I'm in Lake Worth. I'm already going to the live
Thank you
show.
so much.
Yeah, Josh.
All right. So
Yeah.
what do you got for us today, Josh?
So first thing before I ask my question is I love my reality TV. I'm a Cliff fan on Big Brother.
Yes.
Love reality TV. So Bachelor in Paradise is great.
Let's
Challenge,
go.
you guys should all check it out. Big Brother is great.
We all love Josh.
Yeah, he's doing everything right.
Yeah.
Josh, this is going to be a very
But-
personal question I need to ask you, if that's okay.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you black?
No.
Okay, that's all right though. You still like Bachelor in Paradise, so we cool.
What made you ask that? You just wanted
I
to
just
know?
hope one
He's
brother,
hoping for one, yeah.
brother to call in and be like,
What
I love
I
Bachelor.
tell
in
you,
Your odds are low.
It's
I know.
my day. Okay?
I know.
God.
All right, go ahead,
Sorry,
Josh.
Go ahead.
So what I wanted to ask you guys is, because I love going to see a movie in theaters over and over and over again. So I want to know, what is the movie you've seen the most times in theaters?
Shit. Strangely enough, it's a movie that I don't love as much because I was convincing myself.
Aladdin?
No.
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. Saw it like 7 times in
Wow.
the theater. So, and I was just so happy to have another Star Wars movie back. I saw it like seven times. And contrary to belief, way before the 5 years when I became a fan.
Wow.
Yeah, there it is.
Two-way tie between The Dark Knight and Black Panther. Saw them both 5 times in theaters.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think up there is Phantom Menace. Titanic, I went back a number of times,
wow.
which I can't believe.
Good I did too.
Yeah,
4.
Everybody did. It
Like
was
probably
like
like
I think there was a
four-
hypnotist
four
involved
times,
in that movie.
Four
probably.
times with Titanic. Force Awakens, I saw about 4 times in theaters. So
I definitely don't have an answer, as I don't think I've ever seen a movie more than 2, maybe 3 times, and a lot of them that amount of times.
Okay.
So, but I'm not a go see it a million more times.
Yeah.
I'll see it in 3D once, and I'll see it the other way. I'm at whatever, and
That's
then and then I'll watch it at home a ton.
Well, thank you for the call. I think we can squeeze one more call in there, Cody. I think we can get one more in there.
We're on a roll, baby.
I know. I think we can get
We're
one
on
more.
a roll.
I think we get one
Maybe
more
it's
call.
a brother.
We're about
Come
2
on,
more minutes. That's what I'm going to try with.
Two criteria, bro. Now, this is a parlay bet. Brother, Bachelor in Paradise. If you got both, I win today.
You win. We'll
That's,
see.
that's it.
Or
I mean, you already won.
All right, here we go.
Maybe.
Gonna find it. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, you got Mark on from Toronto?
You got not looking good.
I don't think so. No.
Not looking
What
good.
do you?
No, I am black.
Oh! And wait, do you watch Bachelor in Paradise?
Yes.
Whoa! Look at Winston.
He wins. Roxy wins today. Winston wins today.
No, wait a minute. But we got to make sure that this is real, though. So,
How do we know?
who's your favorite character in Bachelor in Paradise?
That's a great question.
If I had to choose my favorite, it would be Carl.
Carl?
Oh, it's not
I was
real.
lied to.
Yeah,
Son
he
of
didn't.
a.
He's
I'm
talking.
not
Now-
black either.
I know.
He's
You're
not
probably.
black
I figured he wasn't. I figured he wasn't, man.
You can't lie
gosh,
about
I just-
being
God,
black.
I'll tell you what.
Damn.
I'll tell you what.
Are you Jewish?
I'll tell you what. I actually, I appreciate what you did. I really
wanted to
could.
help.
I did. No, he didn't want. He wanted to do exactly what I would have done. Good job on you.
I'm gonna crush all of y'all. Next time I come on Only
Yeah.
Bachelor in Paradise, I'm saying
That's good.
Zoobly Zoo like 50 times.
Motherfucker.
What do you got for us?
Damn it. See?
You got a question, or you just
I
want
was
to do
just
that?
wondering. Yeah, I was just wondering if you guys, like, in the Collider Live studio, I've been watching for the past year and a half, and I was wondering if you guys could. Sorry, I'm on elliptical right now, but I was just wondering if you guys could do like more pranks around the studio or that kind of stuff.
I would love that. And I
I don't
understand
believe
why
you're on
that-
the elliptical.
No,
I don't believe
nice.
nothing you say.
No, I believe it, but that's how I know he's not
I know.
black.
Well, thank thank you for the phone call. The quick, we got to get out of here. The quick answer to that is we just don't have the resources to do it yet. When we started the show, we had Beardo, who had a lot of equipment that he was able to do it. We don't have it at the moment. It's something that I do want to implement again, to be able to send people out and have like Brett, what he used to do, and I think Kate would be good at that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do. We just don't have the means to do it yet. But
Drina even could be good.
easily. Thank you for the phone call. And thank you guys. What a fun show it was. Thank you to Kelley Carter for coming and join us. Winston Marshall, as always. Mark Reilly, Roxy Stryer. Hey, Alex. Cody Hall. And thank you guys. Once again, please go on over to the schmodownlive.com. And get those tickets. We have a lot of New York. If you're on the East Coast, I'm telling you, there are only 4 shows left. We will be there. A lot of the crew will be there. So come and check us out. New York is August 31st. Arizona is September 14th. Orlando, October 19th. I knew he's still going to do it over the credits. And December 7th will be the Spectacular in Los Angeles. Get your tickets today. You don't want to miss out on these shows because it's not going to be until February we're on the road again. Thank you guys. Thanks to everyone else. See you tomorrow.
It's not too late to not suck